up? What up? What up? Hey, here's another episode of Black Man Unfiltered. Hey, we're about to get right into it. We want to vent for the week. So I know it's been a while since all of us has been together. I know Megan and Tony was in Mexico celebrating Tony's birthday. Happy birthday to my brother Tony B in the building.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll start with Tony first. Tony, how she treat you, bro?
Man, like the king that I am, bro.
I know that's right. Wow.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't playing no games in Cancun.
I know that's right.
I'm to my Cancun Cozumel.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. Hey, what about you, Brian? Go ahead and tell us about your week, man.
I made some money. You know what I'm saying? I made a nice little. I got a nice little chick. Yeah, I get to pay off these. Buy some hookers with this money.
I heard you got invited to an all-white Thanksgiving, huh?
Yup, I'm going, man. This is gonna be my first time eating at a non-black person's house, bro.
Yeah, so, raisins and potato salad. Boy, get ready.
All white Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm going to some. Hell no, I don't fuck no white woman. No, excuse me. Hey, Tony, I'm not being disrespectful to your wife, man. I'm a respectful guy. But now, it's just something about now. I don't deal with the.
What nationality is your girl? What you say she from here? So what nationality?
Man, she's black and African. She
a
nigga.
African.
Yeah, okay. Her mama a nigga, and her daddy was an African.
Oh, okay.
You mean you've been telling us this whole time not to mess with no Africans this whole time? You gotta learn how to control all that. You ain't did nothing.
Hey, her mama. Listen, she a African American. Her dad.
She's African with
she ain't full blood African.
I like
hold
that.
On. I like Africans, so anybody looking at this, I don't have nothing against Africans. It's just the coon sector that come to America that I dislike and despise. That's all. Caribbeans also. I got a problem with Caribbeans. All non-foundational Black Americans, non-adios blacks, I can't rock with them, bro. Not all of some of them are cool.
Right.
Anyway.
So hey, what about you, Lance? How was your week?
I don't even remember. Skip.
Damn.
Can I skip?
Damn. What about you? Hey, C, where you at, babe? I can't see you. Where you at?
I'm here. I'm helping with homework, but I'm here.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we'll see you in a minute then. We'll see you in a minute. And mother, last but not least. Yeah.
I'm doing good. I had a little work I had to finish today, so I'm gonna be turning my camera on in a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm doing good. Like you said, to Tony, I did hit him with a surprise trip. You know, I did treat him like the king that he is.
No, that's right.
So I have to pat myself on the back. I did that. I did.
Oh, it was a whole surprise.
Yeah, it was a whole surprise.
Tony?
Like, he had no idea. Like, Tuesday night, I told him. And I did it with, like, all these clues. I ain't gonna lie, I stole it from Dwayne. Well, Dwayne gave me the idea about putting, so I put, like, 7 little envelopes with 7 clues in it.
I mean,
and he had to go and find, and so each clue told him to go to a different place until the final clue, like, led him to a bag that had shirts in it that said, "I love it when we cruising together," which was like a hint that we going on a cruise. So yeah, I was trying to be on my romantic bag. Like,
he did that. Good job.
Hey, but look who she learned it from, though.
Well, I ain't gonna. That's why I gave you credit, because you wasn't
I love you. All right, so listen, man. So let's go ahead and get back right into it, man. Because since last time we met up, man. I mean, it's a whole lot of stuff that happened, especially. I seen Brian talking about it. Megan sent it to me while she was in Mexico. She was like, "Bro, we definitely got to attack this right here." So we definitely gonna attack it. So we're gonna start with this right here, because y'all got it. I mean, I know y'all probably we're gonna get everybody ideas on it, because I know I looked into it a lot, but bro, this right here. I heard people saying it's demonic. I heard people saying it's, I even heard Brian say it's demonic. It's some demonic shit going on in the world. And so we're gonna look at it. Let's see.
At least 8 people are dead and scores injured at a sold-out music festival in Houston.
Y'all can hear that, huh?
Yeah, we can hear it. We can hear it.
Okay.
on its opening night.
Rapper Travis Scott was on stage at the time when the crowd suddenly surged and he called for help. Now, in a moment, you're going to hear from the Houston Fire Chief here on GMA. But first, ABC's Phil Lipoff is here with the latest. Phil, good morning.
Gio, good morning to you. And this morning, that festival is canceled after that deadly and horrific night you all have just described. Travis Scott, the festival founder, and was on stage 9 o'clock performing when all of a sudden that crowd surged. Overnight, chaos at a music festival in Houston turned deadly. Police say a crowd surge left hundreds injured, at least 17 hospitalized, and 8 people dead.
The crowd began to compress towards the front of the stage, okay? And that caused some panic.
According to police, of the 17 people hospitalized, 11 were in cardiac arrest.
We were definitely getting pushed very aggressively, and it was intense.
The incident took place at the 3rd annual Astro World Festival, headlined by Houston native Travis Scott. A live stream of the event showing Scott stopping his 75-minute performance several times when he spotted fans in distress in the crowd.
We need somebody to help him. Somebody passed out right here.
We were seeing people getting pulled out of the crowd.
Yeah, the volume went out.
Is 10 years old. And this video, captured during the day on Friday, shows hundreds of people rushing checkpoints and destroying security property at the entrance. This morning, officials are searching for answers about what caused the crowd rush.
Nobody could dream of this, but we're here. And I think it's very important that none of us speculate.
Authorities tell us Live Nation, the concert organizer, agreed to end early in the interest of public safety. And we just got this. This is a statement from Astro World. It says, in part, our hearts are with the Astro World Festival family tonight, especially those we lost and their loved ones. It goes on to say that Astro World management is cooperating with Houston authorities. As for those sent to the hospital, as we said, they ranged in age, the youngest, just 10. Gio?
All right, Phil, thank you. Joining us now is Houston Fire Chief Samuel Peña.
So we'll start with the people that actually live in Houston, bro. We'll start with Tony first, man. So what is the atmosphere like in Houston right now after all this stuff happened, bro?
Yeah, first of all, let me offer my condolences to the people who lost their lives, the families of the ones who lost their lives, and to the ones that got hurt. Definitely keeping them in our prayers and, wishing them nothing but the best through these times. I know how it is to lose a loved one that's close to you. You guys may not know, but I lost my mom like 2 years ago, but it wasn't to anything as tragic as this, but a loss is a loss. Once those people gone, they're not coming back. So I definitely want to, give my condolences to those individuals and those families. But before I can even speak on what happened this past weekend, I have to go back to what happened in January of 2021 with President Trump. How he set up there, and because I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, Travis Scott incited those people. He was saying this and he was saying that, and that's why they did this and that's why they did that." And I don't know that to be true. I don't know if it's true. I don't know. I wasn't there. But let's talk about some facts. January 21, President Trump tweeted out to the people about the riders and all that other kind of stuff. And he said he was going to be out there on the front line with them. And obviously that wasn't the case. He was nowhere to be found. But when those people, bum rushed those offices and a life was lost at that as well. And it's like, America kind of swept that under the bush. It was a hot topic for like a couple of weeks, but then it just went cold turkey. And now this guy's running for president again in 2024. So, man, it's we can't forget about that. That should be on the forefront of everybody's mind. Like I said, a life was lost, and that was definitely provoked by the commander in chief. He tweeted it. It's not a secret. It happened. He said it. So now back to what happened the other day. At no shape, form, or fashion, from what I've seen or heard, did Travis Scott tell those people to do that stuff. So I think that's one of the biggest differences. I mean, it started before they even entered into the place. They bomb rush, ran over the security gates, and pushed down the metal detectors. And I don't know what their intent was or what they thought was going to happen by them doing it, but they was acting a fool before the show even started. And we're watching this article that you just displayed. It showed that he actually noticed some people passing out and stuff like that, and he was trying to get those people the necessary help. So I don't think that this guy intentionally, provoked those people to commit some of the acts that those people did. But once again, we got to go back to the 21st when this guy actually told those people to do that stuff. He told them people to protest like the way that they did. He wanted chaos to happen. He provoked that. He physically said that stuff. And those people did exactly what he said. But the only thing that he lied about was being there. He wasn't there, but he definitely started it. I don't think that was the same situation this past weekend.
All right, so let me go ahead to your better half, Megan, mother. So how do you feel about the whole situation? Like I know you've probably been digging into it and researching it. So what's your thoughts about the whole thing since you're in Houston right along with your husband? Oh, mother.
You still muted.
My bad. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
No, I was saying first off, like Tony said, definitely condolences, to everybody that lost people and got people injured. And I mean, everybody, the rest of the world is seeing it on TV. But like you said, we here. So this is people that I know. I know somebody whose cousin actually was killed in the incident. It was a brother and a sister. The brother is still in the hospital in critical condition. And then the sister was actually killed. So it's hitting home. And then, of course, I work in the medical center. I'm hearing it's like 300 people came that night with injuries and stuff from that concert. A lot of cardiac arrest, and they still trying to figure out how much of it. They do know it was some drugs involved, but they still trying to figure out how much of it exactly, was related to drugs and overdose and that sort of thing. I mean, my heart goes out. The youngest victim was 10 years old. From all indications, though, it seems like that the security, the whole layout wasn't set up and wasn't planned as properly as it should have been. They have huge things at that. We generally have the rodeo every year. Pre-COVID, we would have the rodeo like every year. Usually would start in February and go through like the end of March. And same type of thing. They have close to 100,000 people, but apparently the security, the medic numbers, all that stuff was much more than what they had at the Astroworld concert. So it sounds like it's a lot of things that potentially weren't in place that should have been in place or that could have been in place, but I don't think anybody could have anticipated what was going to happen there. And to me, I was really saddened because it shows like where we are with our current generation and with the next generation. When I saw that video of those like 200, most of that was kids. Most of it was teenagers. That bomb rush, that security. It's like, man, like, is this to where we've gotten to? Like back in the day, you would never see no stuff like this. And this is not the first type of festival. You would never go to the Essence Festival and see no shit like that happening. Like we didn't like get down like that. We had more respect for ourselves as a people than to do something like that. And it's like these days, these kids just don't. And I was asking my husband, I'm like, what was the plan? So when y'all got up on the stage, like, what was the plan? Was everybody like y'all was gonna bum rush Travis? Like, was y'all gonna get his autograph? It's thousands of y'all. Like, were y'all gonna take pictures with him? Like, what was the plan? And so it's like, man, it's like, damn, like, is this to where we've come to? Is this the next generation that we have to anticipate? It's just, I don't know. It was just a lack of respect, and it was really kind of saddening to see, like most of our youth out there like in that way. So I think the whole situation was disheartening. And even Travis Scott, he's from Houston. He's from Missouri City. He grew up like about 10 minutes from where we live. And he's done a lot of good things from the city. Even last week, he was here the entire week. He redid a park that I grew up going to here in Houston, Yellowstone Park. He had just revamped it. He did some things with the Boys and Girls Club. That whole week he was doing stuff. But nobody's talking about that. Of course, now the spotlight is only on what has been done here. And I don't like that people are, sort of defamating him, defaming his character right now because this has happened. Because I really don't feel like he incited those things. I know some things are coming out, and there was a video release showing how, at a concert a couple years ago, he was encouraging fans to jump from the fifth floor balcony. But that's no different than I've seen some of these rock bands encourage people to do worse than that. So I do feel like race is a bit involved here. And that sometimes when we do things or things unfortunately happen to us, that is scrutinized a lot more. So I just really hope that he doesn't end up falling victim to this cancel culture, because of course I don't know him personally, but just the things that he's done for Houston, the things that he's done for the community, to me say, a lot about his character. So, I mean, we'll see how it all unfolds, but I really hope he doesn't end up, being a victim of cancel culture.
Yeah, so just addressing, we had someone come in and said, Julian Maldonado said, Tony said Trump told those people to riot like that, and this situation is different. But Travis is known to tweet out for people to storm the concert like that. Travis tells them to break in. Then he went on to say, Travis wants everyone to get in. He's known to have said that on multiple occasions. Tony, you want to address that before we move to Brian?
Yeah, I mean, and that may be the case, but at the end of the day, I don't believe his intent is for anyone to get killed. So I don't know like why he would even tell people things like that. One thing about celebrities, their words are very powerful, very very powerful. For some reason, they can tell kids to go and jump off a bridge, and you're gonna have some kids that's gonna go and jump off that bridge, just because the celebrity said so. But at the end of the day, like, I mean, yeah, he may have tweeted that before, and maybe he tweeted it for this. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I don't think his intentions was for anyone to get killed. No one has ever died at a Travis Scott at a Travis concert. Nobody. So I don't think those were his intentions.
So Brian, so I saw you comment a lot about it on your Facebook page, man, about even to the point of it being demonic. So I mean, elaborate on what you were saying about the whole situation being demonic. You muted.
Hey, first I want to respond to Tony when he mentioned Trump incited the January 6th early, the riot or whatever. If you're a level-headed thinking person, if you can, look at both sides. The Democrats did the same thing for the 2020 riots, when all the cities across America was getting burned down, black businesses was getting destroyed, like in Atlanta, Dallas, y'all city, Houston, Denver, California, all across the nation, the whole world went in flames. Well, Democrats got on there and said, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Yeah, the protest, yes, keep attacking targets. So we just can't blame Trump for that, but not look at what the Democrats has done also. You know what I'm saying? Because I see people blame Trump, but they don't never think about how the Democrats was inciting riots and inciting people to loot and all these other things in Democratic cities. So it's the same thing. If people say Trump incited it, the Democrats did the same thing. But with the Travis Scott situation, Travis Scott all his concerts was always kind of violent a little bit. All his concerts since he's been out, like all of them has been unruly. Most of it, a lot of people have died at his concerts before. And I believe I don't live in Houston, but from what I heard, it was more than 8 people that died at that concert. You know what I'm saying? So people have died at concert. I have been to festivals, and that stuff does happen. That's normal in festivals. But this particular one, this is something I haven't seen before.
Nobody has died at a Travis, because they were talking about that. Nobody has
not
died
in
at
Houston,
Travis
not
Scott.
in Houston, not in
No,
Houston. Maybe
not at. He hasn't had.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it now. I got to pull it up on my phone. That's why I said it.
So that particular Astroworld Festival, he's done that for 3 or 4 years here. Nobody has ever died.
I understand. I never said it didn't happen in Houston. I'm pretty sure it didn't. People probably didn't die in Houston at the time, or in even other Astro tours. But people have died at his concert before. Not in this magnitude. I ain't saying like hundreds of people died or anything like that. And I'm not trying to refute what you know also. But anyway, as I was saying, That's why I mentioned about music. I always say music has an undertone of evil to it. I think Kanye even mentioned about the chakra or whatever, that how some of the 808 beats bring out a low frequency. Even if you look at right now, how just the rap music is right now, it's just so demonic with the murder, kill songs. Now kids are making music about death, killing someone, shooting videos in front of the person that's dead house, rapping about the dead, smoking on the dead, smoking on Tuka and stuff like that. So with Travis music, it incites that type of energy. He that's the type of music he makes. And I think he does have responsibility of what happened to those children. He said, even when he was on stage, he was like, "Yeah, they know what they came here for. They know what they came here for. They know what's gonna happen here." So when you saying that on speakers, and just I think one of y'all mentioned about, well, young people are very impressionable. Yes, and celebrities should know that. So if celebrities say certain things, they should know that their voices are powerful to the young mind. But yeah, I think it was very demonic also, and I agree with most of what other people say about it on a racial standpoint, how they gonna blame it on them, all that. But on a spiritual level, man, it was very demonic, and my condolences goes out to the children. Like I was speaking with someone, it was mostly whites and Hispanics at that concert, from what I saw and from what my son friend was telling me. It was mostly whites and Hispanics up there. Most of the black people's in the back. So I'm thankful that no black people wasn't hurt or anything, and I'm happy most black people stayed to the back of it. So shout out to the black people that was in the back. My heart and condolences go out to the whites and Mexicans and Asians that died in drug overdose.
So Lance, we'll go to you. Then we'll go to UC. So
hold on, can I respond right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I know Brian mentioned about the Democratic riots and stuff like that. When we talking about a president, the president of the United States of America, that has never, that I know of, been a president that actually incited something like that to happen. Most presidents would get up there and be the first one to tell you, let's do a peaceful riot and things of that nature. I don't think anyone on that level has ever sit up there and said, "Hey, let's go out here, let's do this." I mean, Trump made all kind of threatening comments and stuff, prior to that about the situation. So his intentions were exactly what happened. And so, like, when you say Democrats, that's a group of individuals. I don't know what Democrats was in it. I don't know the situation exactly what you're speaking of, but I'm talking about a specific person, the president, the head of the country. For them to sit up there and say some stuff like that is outrageous. And then for people to still follow this guy and then probably still going to vote for him in 2024. Like that's what I feel like is demonic and unorthodox and just all of the above. Like that's crazy to me. But that's the world that we live in. That's the world that we're living in.
Brian, you don't have to answer if you don't. Are you a Trump supporter? Or are you like a Republican? Because I notice sometimes, I'm just asking.
That question was for you, Brian. Can you hear me? Brian.
I don't think he can hear.
Brian, can you hear Brian? Brian.
Oh, he must.
He'll come back. So while we waiting on Brian to pop back in, there you go. So Brian, can you hear? Brian.
It looked like he frozen.
Oh
no, he frozen.
Can you hear? Brian. Brian, you good? Can you hear us?
I can't hear him. Hold on. Hold on.
Hey, so while we waiting on Brian, go ahead, Lance. What's your thoughts on the whole matter, man?
It's incredibly sad, but I don't really have much to say on it except for, has anybody ever been to a Five Finger Death Punch concert or Slipknot, Metallica?
Oh yeah, when they're pouring blood on the fans and hitting the fans across it. I mean, when I tell you that shit's dude. Let me tell you, dude. Come on. You remember what's the guy we used to work with, Lance? He used to come to work drunk all the time.
Jeremy? Oh, why you got me calling people out that ain't government name?
My thing went out, man.
I love you, Jeremy.
Somebody was calling in. Somebody was calling my phone. Yeah, what was the question?
Hold on a minute, Brian. So Jeremy invited me to a concert one time. He said, bro, just go with me, man. Fuck it, bro. I said, oh my God. So I said, okay, I'll go, I'll go, bro. So we went. When I tell you, bro, I was out of there because I was trying to be open to other people. He was like, man, come in, we just enjoy it, bro. And I was like, all right, bro. So we go to the damn thing, man. I think it was Slipknot. Was it Slipknot? Yeah, because he gave me a ticket. So we went and and he pulled out pig's blood and started throwing blood all over the audience. Motherfuckers doing this and blood. I said, fuck this, I'm out. This shit is stupid, bro. This is demonic as fuck, bro. And he on the microphone, I said, oh, I'm out. Fuck this, I'm out. And he was like, bro, you don't want to stay? I'm out, bro. This is demonic. This ain't no God.
Oh, you didn't get a chance to go to the mosh pit?
Hell no.
So in case y'all don't know, a mosh pit generally happens at a hard rock concert where a circle of typically white males gather around and beat the shit out of each other. I mean, like they be like serious, they throwing balls and they just like tossing each other around. Almost more times than not, there is like 1 to 3 crazy cornbread fed dudes that's just going through there and just hitting people in the face, just bow hitting people in the face. They walk out that concert without any cuffs on. They could easily snap anybody's neck if they want to. I literally seen a dude like get hit so hard, the blood slang onto the people behind him and in front of him and on the dude's face they hit him. So I see a huge racial divide with this whole issue, and especially for the fact that that Travis and a couple other people are the ones who put this together. See, now that puts a liability in because like I don't know what their contract or agreement or how they had that set up, because you know how sometimes when you first be doing stuff they just do it. But I mean, usually when you go to like buy a ticket from a vendor for a venue, either in the vendor or in the venue, they're going to have in the ticket, we're not liable for anything that happens to you when you walk inside this building.
Well, the plaintiffs are like they're suing Live Nation, they're suing Travis Scott, they're suing the promotion company, Scoremaster, whatever. They're naming like everybody. And so
and they'll
everywhere.
They'll do that. That's what lawyers get paid to do. They get paid to try to go for the trappings of whatever they can, so to try to get paid. Like they don't care who's getting sued. It can be your grandma. She could be on child support and welfare and everything else, and they don't care. So like they'll be getting her check for the next 45 years, however long she decided to last. But
I like Julian.
As far as Trump goes, he incited a riot. He said we were going to take it over, but that's the least of our concerns. This man has still committed 4 out of like 11 crimes against humanity that have yet to been addressed. He let millions of people die. So Trump's not worth uttering out of my mouth. I don't think there's a comparison when it comes to that, because even though there are only 3 qualifications to be president, you know, I can't even say it's really his fault. That was us. That was the time we should have incited a riot.
So I think right. You see Tony clapping. So Megan had a question before Brian lost his hearing over there, and then Megan had something to say. So I know Brian want to comment on what he heard from Lance. But then Megan,
I'm gonna let Lance make it. Cool, that's his opinion. Go. We ain't talk about that, man.
Okay, so no, go ahead.
Come on, mother.
Go ahead what Lance said, because that could be educational for anybody, what you got to say versus what he got to say. So go ahead and say what you're gonna say, B.
Well, I'm gonna listen to the young lady had a question for me, then I'll go to Lance.
Okay, go ahead, mother.
No, I was just wondering, and I can say I was saying that you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but I wanted to know, like, are you a Trump supporter, or are you a Republican? Because I noticed sometimes, like, when we have these conversations, like, you sound a little bit one-sided against the Democrats, and like you,
Yeah, I'm
even with the
conservative.
situation with Trump, and I mean, and that's okay. Even with the situation with Trump, it seemed like you were a little bit kind of supportive, a little bit. So I'm just, and I'm open to everybody's perspectives. So I wanted to know though.
Oh yeah, I'm conservative. I'm a conservative black man.
Are you a Trump supporter?
I said I'm going to support him this year. I didn't vote for him last, but I'm supporting for 2024 for sure.
2024. Okay. I mean, I want to know your perspective and like why.
Why I won't going to support Trump?
Yeah.
Do you see what's going on in the country right now?
I do.
With the mandates of hold on. It depends on how you view it. For me, I could deal with racism. Racism, I like my races open. See, I don't like these closeted races that we have in office right now. I don't like the hide your hand white folks. I like my white folks to be racist. See, when Trump was in office, I saw all the racism. That was like the greatest thing in the world to me. Because I got tired of passive aggressive racism. You did. But reason why I'm supporting Trump, because number one, no, Lance, this ain't got nothing to do with you, but I don't like the LGBT situation that's going on that they promote. Number two, I hate the fact that what they about to do with my business, because it's affecting my business, because I work for myself, the things that the Democrats are pushing through. Number three, the vaccine mandates and how they trying to force people to take the vaccine. So with Trump, I'm going to roll with it. I made a lot of money with Trump. It's all about money with me and not feelings. With the Democrats, see what they doing. They're not giving black people anything. So at least with the Trump administration, from what I noticed and the people that's been around me, I just saw a lot more togetherness when it comes to black businesses. I ain't saying what black businesses are no Obama. Oh, let me finish. I let you, you asked me a question. I just want to answer for you.
I just got a pause. Excuse me. I had an outburst. Sorry.
Oh, there ain't nothing wrong with outbursts. I have outbursts all the time too. When people talk, I put my hand down, I make ugly faces, I show my crooked teeth. So I get it. But I'm on the money side of things, man. I'm a conservative person. My family's conservative. Except my mom, she's more on that weird Democratic train. I hate it for her, but yeah, we conservative over here. And I can't knock it, I don't.
I mean, and that's why I said I respect that. Like I honestly wanted to know.
Yeah, I ain't no Democratic nigga.
Let me ask you. Can I ask you, Brian?
You ask me anything.
Are you a supporter of Trump, or are you a supporter of conservative values in whichever party that lies?
I'm a supporter of conservative values.
Okay. I think there's a lot, and I feel like a lot of Republicans say that Trump's just the most foolish, and apparently we just live.
I like Trump though. I ain't gonna lie. I always like.
I don't think he's racist. I think he's insensitive.
No,
I think he's completely narcissistic and completely self-involved. That's a whole bunch of presidents.
They're just a known fact. Under Trump, he ain't passed no laws that collectively hurt black people. But Obama, every Democrat that got in office passed laws to collectively hurt black people. I don't know what to say. Every Democratic city fucked up that has majority population of black people. Maybe not Houston per se, because we in Texas, but places like where I'm from, like Jackson, even Atlanta.
Texas is a Republican state. It's all right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about cities.
That's why Michigan's struggling right now.
Mississippi is a Republican state, and the Democratic city is messed up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just comparing by cities. You can look at places like Atlanta. Atlanta's not doing too good. They got a real bad black homeless population. Look at Los Angeles, bad black homeless population. Even Denver, Colorado, where it just everything went through the roof, bad black homeless and white population. So I just look around, I just see, man, even in Baltimore, a Democratic city in 2017, they had the lowest test scores. It just tells you something. You know what I'm saying? It's just all connected, in my opinion. So in my opinion, I just hope that black people, and I'm happy to see black people start to move towards another direction in the political process.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we start talking about homelessness and things of that nature, I don't believe that's a Democratic or Republican, like kind of like enhanced problem or something like that. I don't feel like any type of
feel.
But I don't think that.
You said feel though. You telling me emotion, but logically it's true. You telling me
so
like
no, because those
if we're
people
gonna talk about logic, I mean, you can't sit up there and say that democratically black people are doing bad because no state
logically.
No state besides very, very few, probably like maybe like 4 to 6 have been historically just one party. It's always been self-serving and self-interest. It doesn't matter who we get in there, and it doesn't matter how much money they're going to throw at us. When it comes down to it, power is corruptible. What is it? What is power? Ultimate power corrupts ultimately. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that just will happen.
Exactly.
This whole nation was founded by the same people who were just Anglo-Saxon, Quaker walking, Quaker living people trying to break away from the Vatican by using their money to get a ship over here. White people historically have been using other people and other resources to make their way and get what they want in any way possible at the expense of any race, even the white people. They're good at sacrificing, even each other. So, and they'll do it. They move so swiftly and in silence. So, I mean, I can't in good conscience just like delegate blame to one party or the other.
I can't. Or I will. You might can't.
I think a lot of it has to do with
that took over, like, and did the same laws. There have been Republican and Democratic presidents that have agreed on the same things. I mean, there's been even points of times where the Republican and the Democratic Party in the Senate has agreed. But one thing that's all agreeable is that Trump, through conservative power and Democratic powers that be representatives of us, managed to let him slide with giving his own self a pardon, not being processed for the crimes of humanity and the millions of deaths that he was responsible for, because he listened to professional people that we pay lots of money to tell us what to do, and he decided to say what the fuck he want. That's not a feeling, that's a fact. He's an asshole and he is a murderer. No, I can't say he's a murderer because murderers kill just like a few people. He's above serial killer. Who he killed? Who he killed? All the people that died from COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I need to hear.
That is he is the leader of the free country. That's the title.
Well, I guess it's all perspectives, because honestly, Brian, when I heard you say togetherness, like, this man incited. When is the last time you seen the freaking Ku Klux Klan? Dwayne was out there with the Ku Klux Klan, with the NRA. When is the last time we've seen that? This man did nothing for togetherness. Nothing.
That's white people problems at the same time.
Never been more divided until he got into office. But you said you like outright racism or whatever. So I mean, in that perspective, so I could see like why you might enjoy that. But I don't think
that don't scare me. See, I ain't scared of white folks. See,
this country was more divided.
Difference between me, listen, y'all don't. The difference between me and other black people, seeing stuff like that don't do nothing to me. That don't shock me. White people are always been destructive since they've been here. So by them inciting the riot, these the same people that burned down Tulsa, Oklahoma. So you think then that's their shit. They burned down their shit. I'm concerned about my people. And my people getting some money, get their education right. That's all I care about. I don't care about what white folks, and I ain't fussing at you or using my tone in a disrespectful way to your wife.
And you think Trump is concerned about black people. And you don't have to say that.
I'm talking about financially on the economic side of the game.
You think Trump
on the economic side of the game
is for the support of black people.
I'm a supporter.
Look at his taxes. Look at his taxes. How many?
I don't care.
You get
That's his
money.
taxes.
You say you can turn the bag like
that's
that.
emotional.
How many black people are at that level? How many black people are at that level? That's who Trump is looking out for.
At what level?
People that are making over $1 million a year. How many black people are making over $75,000?
If you can look up right now, black people made more money under Trump than they ever did. Black people made more money.
That's
They
because
got
of a whole bunch of Democratic presidents that fought for us out there.
Listen, I'm just telling you the fact of it. I'm just speaking facts. Y'all telling me about some emotional
That's
stuff.
not
You
fact.
can
That's not
you can even look it up.
There was a black president before the end. Like, can we factor in?
Well, prove me wrong. I always tell people on
No,
social media, and Dwayne can tell you.
I don't go off of Facebook posts. I need the source.
Listen. I'm telling you then. I'm telling you. Well, let me tell you this. Like I tell Dwayne, see this. People come to me and they can't never, ever prove me wrong. I talk about
where's
facts.
the
People
source,
always tell me about their feelings.
What's the source of this?
They tell me about these feelings and they emotions. You go on Forbes magazine. Forbes magazine, a liberal magazine, somebody you can trust.
The same magazine that said
that's a liberal magazine.
Minority community.
Liberal
the same
magazine
that said, can the minority community wait on stimuluses? Like as if it was only black people that were needing stimulus checks. That magazine.
I don't care about no other folks but black people.
Yeah.
I don't care about what white.
But no, that was an actual article.
Okay, y'all. One at a time. Because we're talking over each other.
Unless it's
You're not a true politician. You don't have blood on your hands. I like Jews.
I don't want to hear about it.
You asked me a question, man. You can't tell me what not to hear about.
But you can't use Forbes as a replicable.
She asked me. She asked me, and I just named one of Forbes. You can look on Forbes magazine.
I mean,
CNN Business. Hold on, CNN Business. Yeah. I'm naming them.
That's not
reputable. I'm just telling you what they said. And they have posters.
I have never seen CNN report anything about the growth of black and that it's been the highest under Trump. I need to see the stats.
Look it up. Look up the stats. You ain't on camera. Just as black people fare well right now under Trump. Just Google it.
I just want to say this though. I mean, like, why does that 4 years erase all the work of any good people of either party? Because I mean, I'm not going to pretend like
what have we
Republicans
accomplished under the Democratic Party. Just being real, what have we accomplished though?
I'm saying that
what have they done for us?
The 4 years that people are reflecting to try to get people to persuade people that maybe Republicans right for them, when in actuality, I just need you to know that I don't believe in any Democratic Party. I do not believe I don't believe in our government, and I don't even like the idea of benefiting off them just because it feels weird to me.
Benefit off of them if you can.
I mean, that's just the way I write. But I'm like you. I like my racism. I like my racism. I like my stupidity outright too. Let me know you stupid.
Me too.
Don't run my country though. Like I don't need your fingers are over certain buttons, and that makes me uncomfortable. But besides that fact, Trump was hired for financial purposes. He did give us lots of money. Nobody's asking where that money came from. Nobody's asking where that money's going now. I mean, that we're talking about the 4 years under him, he released a bunch of money. That's great. It did nothing to build the foundation of black people. As a matter of fact, it kind of perpetuated the whole type of debt that black people tend to get themselves in. And that people of color tend to get themselves in the first place because of a general lack of education that the Democratic Party has been fighting for forever, so that black people could be educated enough to reflect those numbers in these past 4 years, and Republicans as well. I mean, when it comes to issues that really matter, and there's not going to be a representative that just ain't going to jump on board, you know? Like, oh, we need money for businesses. Okay, well, obviously there's a uptick in the people who want to start a business. There's an uptick in the people who want to be owners. Okay, so let's start catering to them. Every president is going to cater to whoever's going to get them hired and whoever's going to get them good. So when it comes down to like parties, like it really don't even matter. Trump was president because he was good at being an entertainer, and America loves to be entertained. We're a bunch of people.
Celebrity in chief. I
mean, but that he is good. He knows how to work a media.
So let me
I'll give him that. He is very smart. He is a very smart man. It's unfortunate that he's narcissist and he's completely self-involved and he's making deals with international companies behind our back.
Yeah, but I want to go back to when Brian was talking about the poverty and the homeless people and stuff like that. It doesn't matter what party is in office, Republican, conservative, Democratic. whoever. I don't think that's going to change the amount of people that's out there that want to be homeless, or that has the desire to be homeless, or that's been comfortable being homeless, or whatever. Like those people, I think they're individually and driven to be that way. So I don't think that has anything to do with a particular
party.
Say
that again. Hold on. What you say?
When it comes to being homeless, I don't think any party has anything. I don't think any party has anything to do with those people being homeless. They're individually driven to be that way. They are that way because
how are they individually driven to be homeless?
Because right now, if you wanted to be homeless, so hold on. If you wanted to be homeless right now, if you wanted to quit your job and just say I'm finna fucking live on the street, you can do that. You have that. You have that right. So if you want to be homeless, you can be homeless. No party is making those people homeless. Those people are homeless because I don't know.
There's a huge part of the population that wants to be. That's a police officer. That's what they do, and it's a lot of them that want to. They want to be on the streets.
They don't have no bills to pay for. A lot of them child support has something to do with it. It's a lot of things that factor. Some of them mental illnesses. There's a lot of reasons to why people are homeless, and it has nothing to do with
this. Is fact.
This is hold on. I'm going to answer your husband.
Go to your local general hospital. The county hospital here is called Bental. Go to your general hospital.
Homeless population. Texas don't have a big homeless population like LA. Them people in LA, them people in LA, they're staying all over in LA. They're staying near Beverly Hills. They're living on the beach. Those people didn't choose to be homeless. Those people lost economic money because of the government, the Democratic government. I'm gonna throw politics up in there because of the Democratic. The people in Denver, huh?
You do realize we're the fourth biggest city. We have over 4
I'm
billion
talking about
people.
maybe not
Houston
as
has
much
a huge homeless population.
Not like LA.
What I'm saying to you is fact. This is not anything I've read. This is fact. In the healthcare system, we would have hundreds of homeless people that came in. We had programs. We had lots of. It had been people that struggled with addiction forever, and we tried to give them assistance. Their families were looking for them to get them off the street. They did not want the help. A person has to be at a place in their life, and sometimes 2-3 years later, then they're ready for the help. There are people that are okay with being homeless, and I mean, some of these people were vets that were getting $1,800 checks a month. They did not have to be on the street. They chose to be on the street.
That's my uncle. That's my uncle. But in LA, there are families that live in 10 cities. They overran Skid Row. That's what I'm trying to say.
Look up the stats on Houston.
Families.
Look up the
now
stats
in
on
Houston, I ain't saying they ain't got it like that, but in LA, y'all don't look like LA. Y'all homeless population ain't like
Brian, you have to be real with yourself. You can.
California's a Republican state. I want to say that.
Hey, y'all,
I be in these places all the time, man.
I
be in these places all the time, so you can't tell nobody can't tell me what I know. Just like I ain't gonna tell you what you know.
California's Republican.
I don't go by people. I go on what's fact and what's stats.
And what's fact? And you say something you never read. Come on now.
But once again, like I said,
if I end this conversation,
if I wanted to be,
I love this conversation.
I'm going on the fourth largest city in the country.
I understand what you're saying, but the problems are different compared to in LA. There are families that are living on the street. They didn't have no choice because of rent going up. There's a lot of families because rent is like $3,000 or $4,000 a month. Tell me how can somebody like that live in LA can afford that? They're not choosing to be homeless.
So let me give you a bit of facts about LA.
Atlanta. I'm just using LA as an example. Even Atlanta.
Look up their stats. Look up the stats on LA and on their government assistance. They take care of their people more than any
city.
They do
not. No, they do not.
So look up those stats.
Yes, they do.
I'm out there.
Megan
that's
has
why
out there over the last week.
That's why the city went bankrupt. Look up these stats. I'm gonna send them to
California is bankrupt. That's what I'm saying.
That's why LA went bankrupt. Several times because the government takes. I have family that lives in LA.
My mother lives out there.
They take care of their people. Okay. They take care of their. Well, if she's not getting assistance, I don't know what the problem is.
My mother
they
don't
take care of their people.
If she's not getting it, it's probably because she didn't apply for it. But this is what I'm saying.
Is not homeless.
They take care of their. I have family that has kids and all of that live in LA. They take care of
My
their
mother
people.
lives
That's
in
why
LA.
the city went bankrupt 5, 6, 7, 8 times.
They gonna continue to go bankrupt, but that's why the people are on the streets because of the
No, the people on the streets because they're choosing to be on the streets.
How are they choosing to be on the streets?
Brian, there
There's
are
no
people.
job
Look, Brian, there are homeless people. Brian, there are homeless people that choose to be on the street. I went to LA. I went to LA last year. And I sat there and I talked with like 2 or 3 of them. Like one dude had a whole black girlfriend. He was like, "Yeah, we moved from state to state. This is so cool. We tried to get me to go to Vegas." There are people that choose to live there because
I never said that. Listen,
there's people that's there because of mental health. I mean,
exactly, but that's exactly what I said. Is different reasons why people are homeless.
But for the majority of people, I wish Julie can get on. Because Julie, listen, for the majority of the people that's in LA, that's on the streets, most of those people didn't choose to be on the street. I'm telling you, there are families on them streets, man. I'm telling you.
His family's on the streets of Houston,
but not like in LA. I ain't never seen that in LA. Even Atlanta and Texas got the same type of homeless population. Most of it is single people, you know, just like y'all mentioned, drug addicts, people that want to be on the street, stuff like that. Atlanta got the same problem also with their homeless population. When I stayed out there, their homeless population wasn't nothing like it was in the last 5
years. A lot of the people that's homeless, those people have mental issues. I think, you know, people just, you know, they just, you know, just, I guess their families just gave up on them, or they just ran away and their families don't have no way of getting in contact with them. But once again, like I said, being homeless, if you're a sound-minded person and you're homeless, is because that's a personal choice that you made to be. Some people, like that's like some people, you got career people that love
to go to jail. Republican though.
But look, you got people that love to go to jail because of the fact that they know they go to jail, they're gonna get 3 free meals. They got cable, they got TV, they ain't gotta worry about no bill, they ain't gotta worry about no child support, they ain't gotta worry about none of that shit. So some people will purposely, when they get out of jail, they'll purposely do something to go right back in jail because that's a better lifestyle for them. You got those same kind of career homeless people that they would rather do that, you know, because they don't have to worry about no bills, they ain't gotta worry about no child support, they ain't gotta worry about it. Like it's a bunch of different reasons why people choose.
But
choose to be homeless.
I get it. That what you speaking, it always been a problem. But what I'm saying now, there are more families on the street that didn't have a choice. I'm telling you, bro, the rent in LA is high as hell.
But they don't have to stay in LA.
A lot of people
they can take the little money that they have and move somewhere that's cheaper.
A lot of people can't do that, bro. That's just like you telling the families in Chicago to move. A lot of people can't move from their circumstances, bro.
Okay, so are we saying
that's not their fault? See, this the problem.
So you say they don't have no money, no job,
y'all got money. Hold on.
Where's the government assistance? Where's the government assistance?
Y'all two are successful black people. So I think since y'all made it in life, I think it's hard for y'all to understand that there are people that fuck up out here.
You preaching to the choir.
And I can say it. I said it to both of y'all, husband and wife. I was speaking to the husband.
College. I have worked.
I didn't graduate. I ain't got no education.
Shit that you read. You speaking on a lot of stuff that you read. I'm speaking on facts.
I speak on stuff what I know, baby. I've been out the country. I stayed in Africa. My dad was a missionary. We used to go to Africa and Manila as a kid. I used to go to Jamaica. I go out the country, so I seen things and I educated myself.
One at a time, so they can hear y'all, so the people can hear y'all. One at a time, so people can hear y'all.
I'm not disputing what y'all saying about mental issues and drugs. I'm telling right now
about us being successful black people and that we lost touch with. That's not true.
Y'all lost touch, man. Y'all lost touch, bro. Y'all lost touch.
I went to HBCU, and so you can't tell me I pulled myself up by my goddamn bootstraps. I made nothing out of nothing. I did not have my brother raised me, so you can everything I got. I worked hard for, and I pulled it out the goddamn mud. My brother raised me. That was 7 years older than me. So nobody can say, so no, I haven't lost touch with anything. Yes, I'm successful now, but I have a lot of family that's still on Section 8.
And guess what? Y'all gonna still ball out, yo. Y'all still gonna ball out harder than me.
Because you said, wait, Brian, you said what you wanted to say. All the stuff that I'm speaking on is not stuff that I've read. It's fact. I've worked at the county hospital. I worked at the hospital.
I worked for CPS.
I've been healthcare ever since I graduated college. The stuff that I've seen, I'm telling you, is fact. I've seen the homeless people coming in there, and their families are looking for them, and they want to be on the street. So I'm not out of touch with anything. The stuff I'm telling you, I've seen with my eyes. I've seen it. I've seen it.
I haven't disputed that what you
I'm
said though.
you
You disputing what I said. You disputing what I'm saying about families, and I'm going against your husband about when you said people.
Black people.
He said
so
people are choosers, like most of these people not. Yeah, I said it.
I feel like families adjust to families adjust to any environment. I mean, that's feelings right there. The kids, you've convinced these kids that they deserve this type of life just because you feel like that this is best. And you may be right. Whose opinion is right or wrong when it comes to the homeless? I'm just trying to figure out, are you saying that the Republicans are the answer for getting them out, or the Democrats are the reason that they
I never said
still going to be homeless?
It's about money. It's about
That's what I'm asking. Because California is a Republican state.
I just said, and I'm just like, financially better under Trump, and I said, once we get this money right, man, that's the problem. We financially fucked up. It's Ohio.
That's what you said. You said you successful, and that's why you supporting the conservatives. How many of your black brothers and sisters are successful at that level?
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you. Guess what? Guess how many black brothers I get to hire? Guess how many black people I get to hire? I probably won't be able to get a chance to hire no more people because of the payroll tax that Biden might implement that Trump didn't have.
But once again, it goes back to you, because your whole thing was that because of the Democrats, that's why we have such a big homeless population. When Trump was in, the homeless population numbers did not change when Trump got into office. Yes, we did get stimulus checks, but a lot of people didn't get stimulus checks. Homeless people, some of them, matter of fact, some of them probably could have gotten it, but probably didn't go get it because they may not have just known about it or didn't have the resources. Right. So, but the thing about it is, once again, the homeless number did not change. It didn't decrease. It didn't increase when Trump got into office. Even when the next president or whatever, if Biden don't make another 4 years or whatever, some things are not going to change. Though, like no president is going to get into office and say, guess what? We're going to give all the homeless people homes. That's not going to happen.
Hold on. Let me correct you just in case anybody said that. I didn't say presidents are going to change the homeless. When I was speaking about cities and states that's ran by Democrat cities like governors or mayors, I didn't say nothing about the president, so let me clear that up too.
But we ran by Republican government in a wheelchair.
Yes, we are ran by
a Republican government in a wheelchair.
I love him. Situation. I'm gonna vote for him again. I'm gonna vote for him again.
And how he fucked black people with COVID. Oh, you love that.
How he fucked black people with COVID.
It's disproportionately affecting our people down here.
What's disproportionately mean? Can you define?
Look at the numbers of black and brown people that have died from COVID. Look at that. In Texas. Let's talk about that. And this man refused. Texas has been wide open since the start of the freaking pandemic. Look at that. And look at the numbers. This man refused to close it down. Y'all in Dallas, y'all in other places, y'all not here living with this shit. I've been working in the medical center since this shit happened. Almost 2 years. It's a freaking mess. And it's our people that are freaking dying from it.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. I can't support nothing about Greg Abbott or nothing about he got going on.
I'm gonna support him again because I do not. I want my daughter. I want my daughter to compete with girls in the same gender. I don't need no Democratic governor to allow a boy to compete with my daughter. That's my thing.
I can assure you this: whether the next president is Republican or Democratic, nobody's gonna come in and make any changes with these whatever the acronym, the initials are. Nobody's gonna change that. I promise you that. Nobody.
In Texas, facts.
So y'all, we got a guest that came in that has something you want to say. Iceberg Sam, speak your mind. You got a question for anybody on the panel?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You got a question for anybody on the panel?
Oh, no. This is a great build. I'm just listening. Just wanted to kind of interrupt so everything can get back on pace. You know, it makes for better radio if, like how you said, if we speak in turns.
All right. So what you got?
I didn't want you to stop. I was just listening.
Okay. Cool. All right. So yeah. So anytime you want to chime in, just come on back in, bro. Now I did want to move on to the next subject.
Yeah, because I'm getting attacked, man. Like the husband, wife, and Lance
I
trying to
think
put
Brian done lost.
choke on.
Don't put me in there. I've been asking you straight questions. I've been asking you straight questions. That's how I'll start.
Yes, I am
I
not
don't care,
taking
man. I
you.
don't give a. Hey, listen,
I'm not
y'all. I
taking you.
deal with
If
worse.
anybody is
I deal with
attacking
worse
anybody,
people than this.
it's you talking about that we successful black people and we
Yeah,
lost
y'all the
touch.
successful
Now
niggas, man.
that's
I've
an
been
attack.
around.
That's
We're gonna
an
talk
attack.
about that.
We're not
Hey,
attacking
can
you.
you do a show next week on the bourgeois black folks? Let's talk about that next week.
Oh my God! So
The
I'm just
bourgeois
ending by
black folks.
saying that nobody's ever done anything for us. That's what Michael Jackson say. All Michael Jackson said is they don't really care about us. So
my bad, Dwayne. No, Dwayne.
You want to do a show on that and you a Trump supporter? Okay.
Yep.
So listen,
y'all way more liberal than I am. Y'all hate the homeless, man. Just
nobody ever said that.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
I told
I'm gaslighting, Brian.
I'm an ignorant nigga, baby. I'm an ignorant nigga. I told you.
And that's how you show up.
Then God finish the freaking spelling, bro. Please.
Huh? What you say, C?
Heck. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't know I was unmuted.
See over there checking them kids.
Nah, Nicole, she was talking about all of us. I'm be quiet, and then she slipped at the mute.
Let me ask this question.
I was listening.
I'm gonna ask this question, and then we're gonna go into the big question I gotta ask at the end, man, because I got a real big one at the end. But this one right here shouldn't take us long. So, why do some women feel the need for men to be vulnerable? Why do some women feel the need for men to be vulnerable? We'll start.
You done took this in a whole nother direction.
Yeah.
I mean, they ain't just changed the subject altogether.
Yeah, we're moving on to the next subject. So,
exactly.
We'll start with you, C.
Why do some women feel the need for men to be vulnerable? I mean, I don't know if women feel that way in general, but why shouldn't men be vulnerable?
I mean, well, the reason, let me give some context first. I'm sorry, guys. So I was watching, because I try to watch a lot of stuff that involve a lot of things, even though I don't like it. So on the OWN network, Oprah has this show. Megan, you probably know what I'm talking about. She has a whole lot of black women in the audience, a whole lot of broken black women in the audience, talking about how it is to be, all this type of stuff. So in the audience, they were talking about black men are not vulnerable, and if black men were more vulnerable, more black women would want to date them and marry them. But black men like to keep their secrets inside of them, so they don't really let things out. They want to know everything about you, but they don't want you to know anything about them. And then on the flip side, you have guys in the comments saying a man should not be vulnerable with a woman unless she's his wife. So that's the context of the question. So go ahead, see.
I can agree with that. I mean, if that's how he chooses to. I mean, I don't think a man of anybody should just be vulnerable to anybody, because that's how, like you said, when last week, was that last week or was this week? Monday, with men being vulnerable, because, when they do, it gets thrown out when there's anger or there's, so I feel like, yeah, be vulnerable with your wife. You shouldn't just be vulnerable with everybody that you date. But I do feel like men do need to at least be able to get therapy for whatever is going on with them. Just like 3 weeks ago, a African-American guy committed suicide and left his wife, his son, because he said he was going through depression and not able to deal with it anymore. And I just felt like if he had someone to actually talk to and be vulnerable with, I don't think he would have committed suicide.
Right. Okay. Well, Lance, go ahead.
This is really more of a question for y'all breeders, but it is kind of interesting that you brought this up because I was just talking about this to somebody yesterday, and she was just giving me the example of how she was doing for this, dude, and he was all into her, and he started listening to her. He started listening to his friend because his friend was the type of alpha male. When she shut him down, he started ragging on his friend because he's like kind of dorky, just plays the games, only have 10 friends on the Xbox. And she was just like, I kept asking him, questions, asking him stuff about him. And he was just like, I don't really want to talk about that, this, that, and the other. And then it kind of posed the question, well, what is his lack of vulnerability doing for you? So I think out of your question, I would rather instead of respond, I would like to ask 2 more questions. What is a black man's version of vulnerability? 1, because I think we have a pretty good grasp on a woman's perspective of vulnerability. What is a black man's perspective of vulnerability? And 2, what effect do black men think being vulnerable will have for them? Because the way I see it in relationships, most of the time when women don't like when a man's not vulnerable, it's not because there's something wrong with them or they're hiding something. It's literally because there's an anxiety that builds up inside of themselves for not knowing that they're doing the right thing. It's like a lack of affirmation in the relationship to actually know what this person's thinking and feeling. And that's the kind of person that I am too. And hearing her say that, I was just like, it just hit me. I had a problem with my ex being vulnerable. With actuality, I should have had a problem with my anxiety because I trusted him. I loved him. But still, I had this anxiety about me doing whatever it is, what was necessary to make things great. So I got inside my own self. So I would rather ask, what is a black man's version of vulnerability? Has that yet to even really be defined?
Well, let me help you. I think some black men go through things in life. I think they struggle. I think that the weakest thing that you could ever hear a man say, and I'm just saying this, and anybody agree that just disagree. The weakest thing that you could hear a man say, I heard Anton say this on the Pete Let's Talk show, and I agree with him 100%, is that a man goes around telling a woman, period, that I'm triggered. Things bother me. Most men don't speak up and don't speak out about anything vulnerable because black men are under the impression that if I open this Pandora's box and the first time that this woman gets angry with me, I'm going to hear it. Now tell me, on all these heterosexual men on this show, and Lance, you included, hell, I don't know what you do every day.
I know you don't, and you don't need to. Thanks. Moving on.
But I'm saying, how many men on this show right now that you've been in a relationship and you have opened up to somebody and they take what you have told them and burn your ass with it? How many of you have experienced it? Tony, have you experienced it? I've experienced it. Brian, have you experienced a female bring up some shit that you have told her and shared with her when she was upset? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it happens to women too, so that's a little one-sided.
It's never happened to me
too.
Well, it's never happened to me because I'm vulnerable. I'm vulnerable with everybody. So you don't have anything to burn me with. My whole life's an open book. If I don't live in the light, I don't know how to do nothing else.
When I say burning, I mean they'll say something like say for instance, Lance, you said, "Hey, listen, when I was in the 12th grade, I was in a relationship with this person, and this person did this to me." And then in your relationship, your partner gets mad and says, "I see why that nigga left you in 12th grade. I see why that nigga broke your heart."
And I'm gonna be like, you know what? You're probably right, because I had time to sit there and self-reflect, and I wouldn't react to what they're saying. I would respond because I'm an adult. Like, I'm not gonna just get hurt just because somebody says something. If somebody says something hurtful, I'm not gonna get hurt. I choose to be hurt. I decide whether to give that statement attention, and then once I do, I evaluate it, and then I evaluate myself, and I do a self-assessment, and then I figure out if they're right or if I'm right. And then I stand in my truth. If they're right, I'm gonna be like, damn, you really right. That is why that nigga left me in 12th grade. But if you wrong, I'm gonna be like, nah, bitch, that's why you ain't had nobody good since the 12th grade until me. And that's how that conversation will go. I'm telling you exactly how I've handled that too many times.
You real healed, Lance. But Dwayne,
you sure is, because baby,
that's happened to me. That's happened to me several times. because I think just innately, we as women are automatically vulnerable. And it has happened to me several times. Oh, well, that's why this happened to you, and that's why you got this going on, and that's why whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. It has happened to me and been thrown in my face several times of things that I told in my vulnerable state and being vulnerable to a partner. So it don't just happen to men, it happens to women too.
So you agree that you shouldn't be vulnerable with somebody unless you're married to them?
To a certain degree. I mean, if you're in a serious relationship and it's going towards marriage, I think the things, especially for me, about why it's such an emphasis on Black men being vulnerable, because so many times we end up with these situations where it's really a broken little boy. And so now I got this broken little boy that I'm trying to, is trying to, be a man, trying to be in a relationship. He's not emotionally available. He's not emotionally stable. And I'm dealing with a problem that's really your mama's problem, that she should have helped you to correct that. So for me, I think the biggest thing is, and like you said,
can't say.
I'm not going to say no
like
mama
you
problem.
said,
Go ahead,
like you
please.
said, but like you said, a lot of, so to me, in my perspective, a lot of the vulnerability and the lack thereof comes from Black men having to be so strong. And, the Black community already has a stigma against like therapy and that sort of thing. And Black men not opening up about what their traumas are and what they've had going, Black men not healing themselves. And it's not only a Black man problem. I'm 32 and it's taken me years. I think probably just in the last year, I've finally healed a lot of the traumas that I have going on. So I don't think it's not only a Black man problem, but I think when I think of in terms of a man being vulnerable, I want Black men, I want my husband to be able to feel safe with me and to feel like he can be vulnerable with me and tell me like what are his fears and what are his issues, what are his traumas, that sort of thing, and not have a fear that I'm gonna throw it back in his face. Because I'm honest, I'm the one I can stand up in my shit. I have done it before. I've done it to my husband before. And a lot of that came from a place of where I wasn't healed. And if you do something to me and you would piss me off, if anybody could get it, I was going to try to go below the belt and I was going to try to go for the jugular and hit you where it hurt. So I done it.
Would you also consider that a mama problem for the women as well?
Yeah. And the way, and I'm transparent about it. I know a lot of mine, and I saw that growing up. I saw you throw shit in people's face, you break them down, you go for the jugular. You do what you got to do to protect yourself. And if somebody comes for you, you go back at them. I saw that growing up. And so that's what I thought was appropriate. I can be honest and transparent about I've done it lots of times. I have.
I saw that growing up too. And honestly, the kid in me, I was just like as I started to grow up, I was like, nothing got better. So this obviously isn't the solution. And I just I didn't like how it made me feel when I was a kid. I'm not gonna sit there and make you feel my trauma. Like I can't. Like I'm just not that person. Like I'm not gonna sit up there and like put you through something that I know I'm currently going through. That's redundant to the whole like I'm big about helping like the whole human race and being the example. And if being the example is my first priority, that involves keeping myself in check. And it's just better. That's just better for everybody. And I get it. I get trauma because at the same time, like it's that same kind of carefulness that stopped me from exploring so many avenues in my life too. It's the over vulnerability that I've had that's allowed me to allow my emotions to kind of rule like my decision making for myself. But at the same time, I thought about it thoroughly and I don't have any regrets for it. I mean, everybody that I come in contact with is better because of it. So I mean, as long as I take care of myself, like there's really nobody that can like break me down. And that's crazy that like somebody would just like take their trauma and put it on you. I just think that's like the stupidest fucking thing you can do in the world. Like why are you poisoning your own relationship?
And this just brought me back to a conversation that I've had before about like people becoming products of their environments. And the first text that I used this in was that, we grew up, we were poor, and we stayed in some government projects and stuff like that. So coming up, we were those kids that were standing at the mailbox waiting for those paper food stamps. And if they didn't come on the first, we were sad, because, man, we knew we weren't going to be able to get anything decent to eat until we got those food stamps. And so me growing up like that, I used to always say, man, I want to have more for my kids. I want to do better for my kids. And so that's what motivated me to strive to want to do better. Even with my dad, like he wasn't there. My dad was a dope fiend. And, you know, it's not that my mom kept him away from us. He chose not to come around. And so I used to always say, man, if I have kids, I would never be absent in my kids' life because I didn't want that. So I learned from all those negative things and all those experiences that I had. I wanted to grow and I wanted to do something different from that. So, and Lance, you're absolutely right. Why would you want to inflict that same type of trauma and pain on a person that you quote unquote love? Because that's what you knew that, you know, that's not normal. You know how it made you feel. So why would you want to, you know, hit somebody below the, especially your husband or like I said, somebody you love? Why would you want to hit them below the belt? Why would you want to hit them below the jugular? And that goes back to Dwayne's point. That's why sometimes men are not vulnerable with ladies. And also, I gotta agree with what Lance said as well. A lot of women, that anxiety and stuff, because women are very emotional or whatever. They want their husbands or their boyfriends to love them. They want to please them. They want to, most women, they want to do right by them. So they want them to open up and talk to them about stuff because they want to know, man, if I rode him good, let him tell me that. Or if I did this to him good, or if he liked this sexual move, or, you know, I need to know this stuff. So, because I want to satisfy him, and not only in the sexual content, but like anything. If I did this like Megan, she planned that trip for me or whatever. So of course she want to know whether I enjoyed it or not. So like that said, that anxiety when we don't say anything or whatever, then it's like, damn, did I do the right thing? Did he like it? There's so many questions that they have for themselves. So that's why they want us to open up and be vulnerable, so they won't have them questions, so they won't have that anxiety and you know, the other issues that may come along with us not telling them. But once again, it's almost like you have to pick and choose what you're going to be vulnerable about as a man or as a woman. You know, you may not want to open up about certain things because, you know, it may get thrown back up in your face later on, but you may want to open up about some things because you want things to get better. So I guess it just depends on who you're with, the situation, what it is that you want to be vulnerable about. But I think everybody's going to pick and choose what they open up about. I don't think anybody's going to open up about everything.
Right. And you know what? And Megan's mother said something very important, guys. She said, you know, when I say mama issues, and a lot of women feel like, oh, you're just beating up on black women. But we talked about this a few weeks ago where we talked about parenting. And when Dr. Higgins was on, we talked about how trash parenting was and how some of these mamas put the poison in the Kool-Aid for the daughters to drink. And so that leads into, you know, we talk about that.
And the sons too. And the sons too.
Yeah, and the sons too.
Because
then it becomes a dyslexic thing for me. And then the mothers are teaching the women how to be men, and you're teaching your sons how to be fuckboys. So
I do not think women are teaching their daughters to be men. I think they're teaching their daughters how to survive, to be honest.
And that's masculine as fuck.
No, because it's not masculine. You just teach them how to survive.
I don't teach. What do I teach my daughter? I wish I can bring them in here right now. They're asleep.
No,
what I teach my daughters is this: you don't go around bullying boys. You don't. This is how you talk to a man. You don't put yourself in a position for a man to put his hands on you. You watch your mouth. You never talk down to your man or your husband. When you get married or you have a man in your life, you don't talk down to your man. You don't talk to your man. You teach them. You don't go in there and teach your daughter to go in there and say, punk bitch, bitch ass nigga. You don't teach your daughter that. You want your daughter to be eloquent. I
don't think any woman teaches their daughter that, Joe.
Hold on.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't teach it. It may be observed by the kids. They may be around their parents when they say this, but they do not teach it. I don't know now one parent that have taught their kids to call their man a punk.
But things like that shouldn't be done around the kids. Kids are like sponges.
There's a lot of things that shouldn't be done around kids, but it happens.
But guess what though? When you get your kids, think about this. When you get your kids, and your kids are sponges, you don't have to tell your kids.
Okay, but no, hold up. Kids are sponges, but Tony just said normal people. If you're thinking normal, you shouldn't want to downgrade your man or something like that. But mother was a kid. She was a sponge. So what she learned, that's how she act. Because she thought that was normal for her.
Like the majority
and she thought,
of women.
Okay, then, but he just said, if you're thinking normal, she was not thinking normal.
But what you know what?
So she was a sponge.
We're normalizing toxicity. How many times have you seen something toxic happen that our mamas did back in the day? And
I don't think we're normalizing it. I just really don't appreciate you putting that on Black people, because I see worse Black representations of Black people in cartoon form than I do in actual human form any day. And I just want to throw that out there.
Okay,
I don't think it's us. We are 6 people on a dais. We speak eloquently. We about getting our money. We're all on our shit. So I mean, like, this is at least 6, you know, that are doing pretty well. And only one of us hasn't had a traumatic fucking life. So I mean,
you know what, Lance? I can say this. I love my mother. I love my father. I'm 30. I'll be 38 years old at the end of this month. I'm 28. My mother has been married for 39 years to the same man. All her kids by the same guy. And I just want to preach to the choir. I want to walk you up to pew number 1 and sit you in the front of the church and preach this to you. They were fucking toxic as fuck. And if I look back on my life, I love them to death, but they were toxic as fuck. And if everybody look back at your parents, you will know that we have to take accountability.
Be honest.
If these parents were toxic as fuck.
I mean, it's not like that gets a handbook, though. I mean, it's parenting. Like, you don't know how you're going to relate to this little person who starts acting just like you. Most of the time, you can't even confront your own issues until your kids start reflecting, you actually reflecting your ass. And then you're just like, oh, wait a minute. I am that. I do that. Oh, shit, I am that person. I want to be a different person for my kid. Nobody recognize. It is very few people that actually wake up and recognize their self-worth and value. That is few and far between. Usually it's because they have to. They're put in a position in a situation where they have to. Just like these young women that are going around and like flaunting their ass out. It's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's that there's a perception that there's wrong with it. And they're not going to have a lot of many men worth of any character or quality that are going to smash that and actually stay committed to it. And once they see that, then they'll stop dressing like that. Like it's that some stuff has to be learned, some worth has to be built, some value has to be brick by brick.
But guess what, Lance? The sad thing about that is this, and I know some people on the panel probably experience this as well. The sad thing about that is that I should not learn at 37 what I fucking should have learned from my parents at 14.
But you can't sit there and say that you should have learned it from your parents, Joe, because they were still learning in their process too.
That parents is just a title. Everybody just doing their best. Shit.
I just want to say that. Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, B.
Oh, for me, man, I didn't grow up in a toxic household. Like my mother wasn't toxic and my father wasn't toxic. And from seeing it, since I've been getting older and I meet people that come from toxic environments, and I can see and I understand people attitudes, people perceptions on life, and the reason why people move, and I totally understand the reason why the way the people are, what I mean? I ain't perfect or nothing, but I didn't grow up like that. I come from a loving mother. I ain't saying y'all parents weren't loving, but I come from a loving mother and a loving father. My mother, she was a mental health. She worked for the Department of Mental Health. And my father, he was a preacher. You know what I mean? So I grew up in a kind of like a suburb lifestyle a little bit, if you want to call it, but I went to a hood school. So for me, man, I didn't have those. That's why I don't have those views on women like most people do. I can be vulnerable to a woman because I was vulnerable to my mother. My mother taught me how to be vulnerable. So any woman I come across, I'm gonna be vulnerable to her because what can you do to hurt me? Whatever I share with you is the truth.
Right.
And the truth, they always say the truth hurts. So if a motherfucker say something or blast me on social media and tell my business, hell, I'm gonna stand on it. It ain't nothing. I ain't got nothing to hide. I ain't raped no woman. I ain't been to jail. I ain't beating up on no kids. I ain't doing nothing like that. I been broke. Who ain't been broke?
Okay.
Who ain't had a downtime in that year? Who ain't fucked something ugly? You know what I'm saying? Who ain't did something silly? So that's how I look at things. So I didn't grow up in drugs. I wasn't around drugs or nothing like that. You know, I ain't start seeing that shit until I hit the streets. Now, when I hit the streets, that's when my trauma started. My home life was okay, but the streets, that's what took me down through there. But I was like, God damn, it's people out here that's fucked up. And by me being with my mother, that's why I have a heart for the less fortunate. That's why I do my best to mentor these young niggas out here, these little poo shiesty babies. We out here every day. And that's how I feel about it. But nah, man, I think men should be vulnerable. And I understand why men don't, man. A lot of these bitches out here, man, they ain't worth to be opening up to. And a lot of these guys not peeping these bras. See, a lot of these guys will open up to a fish, a dope fiend, a prostitute, anything. Hold on, I let y'all talk for 20 minutes. I just want to get this off. Can I get this off?
When you said bitches, are you referring to? I'm sorry, I got a problem with it. I'm letting you finish, but
heifers,
Brian, I love how you stand up for the ladies, but like
my language, that's just how I talk. I say heifers then. Some of these heifers, you can't be vulnerable to certain heifers.
Woman a bitch though.
But if I ain't talking to all bitches though, I ain't talking to all bitches though. Every woman ain't no bitch. Just like every woman ain't no hoe.
Disrespectful though. You over here talking about how much respect you have for your mama.
My mama ain't no bitch though.
Your mama a bitch, it's gonna
my
be
old lady ain't no bitch though.
That's disrespectful though. That's disrespectful though.
Hold on. You know what,
That's
man?
disrespectful though.
I love you, mother. But let me ask you a question. This is for the females on the panel right now. The first words you niggas go to when y'all pissed off at another female is bitch. So I'm trying to figure out.
Can't say that because I do not curse. Y'all have not heard me curse one time on this.
You sure right.
So Sierra, you ain't never said.
I have never. I do not curse. I just don't. It's nothing that I set a standard for myself or whatever. I just never have.
But that's the first thing. Okay, listen. I'm gonna go back to what I was saying. I'm gonna give it.
And I'm a feminist.
So no, I have never called a woman that word
like that in no derogatory way like that.
Go ahead, Brian, and finish your thought because we got to talk about the orange bucket.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah. But some of these heifers, man, you can't be vulnerable to. You can't share nothing with because they minds can't process what you're going through mentally as a man. But you have some women that will understand from a man's perspective. You see what I'm saying? I know the difference between a bitch, a hoe, and a woman.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
wow.
So, and when we talk, I'm not gonna say bitches either because I can be related to that word sometimes as well. However,
you already said it.
Yeah. So I think it all goes.
It's Dwayne energy. It's that Dwayne energy that just jumped on me when I said the word.
And so it's the orange bucket syndrome.
You see how quick toxicity works? Look at that.
Yeah, that toxicity just jumped in.
Right? It's not toxicity that call a spade a spade.
I blame Dwayne.
If the toxicity is, if you call a spade, that's just what the fuck it is. So my thing is this. For me, it's the orange bucket syndrome, right? And so we talk about, I'm gonna go back a little bit. So we talk about mama. I mean, we talk about daddy, but we'll talk about mama. Some of these mamas out here have created some, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna beat up on the women tonight. I'm a little bit. That you have created men and women, but mostly our women. Like I told my daughter, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I told my daughter the other day. I say, baby, you can be two types of women in this world. She said, what's that, daddy? She's 11. I should say, well, I keep it real with them. Hell, they learn how to fuck at 9. I'm not going to just be not wrong with my 11-year-old. So I said, baby girl, you can be two type of women. I said, you can be Michelle Obama or you can be Megan Thee Stallion. You have a choice. I said, you can be Megan.
What's wrong
with
Megan?
They both graduated.
Megan graduated. She graduated from college.
What's wrong with Megan?
What I'm saying,
I don't want my daughter to be like no Megan Thee Stallion.
Right, come on, Brian. Come on, Brian.
Hell no. I don't want my daughter to be nothing like Megan Thee Stallion.
Your daughter, ain't no way Tony gonna allow that beautiful bundle of possibilities that you just had, that beautiful girl, y'all first girl, to come out of the room at 16 just like Megan. Let's just be honest now. Tony, you
wasn't dressing like that at 16, though.
17.
I'm gonna tell you this: if my daughter grow up and that's what she into, and she get in the bag like that, I ain't gonna have a problem with it. Because guess what? Megan's mama died, but guess what? Her family is good. Her family is good.
Come on, Tony. Speak on it, Tony. From a father's perspective.
So wait, when it comes to like women in their dress, just strictly on appearance. Okay, we're not talking about their credentials. Didn't matter they went to college, they go to church faithfully for 25 years. Let's just talk about their appearance. What does that say about them? How does that make them undesirable? Like how does that diminish their value? Because
what?
Okay, because from what I understand, I come from a rich cultured history where we didn't wear shit. And we were twerking all day. Did it for the rain, did it for the sun, did it for some farming.
America, man.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't doubt the history. Just like white people will forever be the best supervisors in the world because that's what they're great at, managing and supervising like a motherfucker. That's what they do. Black people will always be best at being like them cultural selves. And like, I don't understand how we can say we got to get back to like a blacker version of ourselves, a more correct version of ourselves, and then like kind of almost attack the very nature of our true selves, of our true ancestors. You realize every time we talk about a girl who might have a cheek out, we're talking about our mamas that had cheeks out. I mean, we talked about 2 sessions ago. Our mom was on the corner too.
Mama had their cheeks out.
I'm just saying. Let's not try to act like let's try to act like Mama wasn't 16 too at the Sadie Hawkins dance. I mean, getting the hoe down with the lowdown. I mean, it happened.
But Mama wasn't on video out here though.
But they can't help that. That's a media. See, that's a media thing.
So why I can't judge?
You can. You absolutely can judge. I'm just asking how. Like, how does that change their value?
You're supposed to judge a hoe. You respect a woman, but you judge a hoe.
Meg is out here making 10 times what a doctor would make in a year. She making 10 times.
See, that's the problem. We put our value on money.
What she
that's the problem. We put our more than value on money too much. We lean on money too much in certain aspects. Like,
but does that diminish
my daughter
what
will be a
she's
goddamn
doing?
fool.
This girl just graduated with a healthcare administration degree. She ain't no doctor.
But she's still pushing wholeness. She's still pushing wholeness.
She just graduated.
She's still pushing the whole
and this girl is capitalizing on her talent. What's the problem with it?
Nah, she capitalizing on whole culture.
Okay, let's do the same thing. Okay, let's take Michelle Obama, Viola Davis. Let's take who else can we? Felicia Rashad. Let's take
Michelle a transgender, man.
Okay.
How we know they wasn't out there twerking? We ain't got no video.
What you say about Michelle?
You're making my point. You're making my point. If she did it was behind a 1964 school bus. It wasn't in the fucking.
That's how she got brought.
So my point is this: if you look at the money Angela Bassett making with her beautiful fine ass, she's 55 years old, like she's 30. But if you take Angela Bassett, she's making more. I guarantee you, she just signed a $30-some million deal with with Fox to continue her show 911 or some shit. She's making more money than Megan. And when the last time you seen a titty or ass cheek from her?
But how dependent is her success on her beauty?
She's been it.
How dependent is her success on her beauty?
She's done it.
And I've seen titties and ass, and how Stella got her groove back. I saw all of Stella, capital L's, capital A.
Yes. Trust me, 2 years into her career, she was not making that type of money. 2 years into her career, she was not making the money that Meg is making.
So basically,
she's done 16. She's done all of it. It's just our perception
for their value. Black women have to market themselves.
Nobody answered my question. Well, how does this devalue them?
Because my thing is
look at somebody like a lot of women or like a Trey Songz. These men that are sex symbols. What's the difference? Out there with their shirts and stuff off. Like we just went to go see Tank concert. Whole concert, his shirt off. He doing all this sexiness and body rolling. What's the difference?
Okay, I can tell you the difference.
Do you see a culture of men doing that though? Do you see a culture of men doing that?
It's not cultural minion. That is our cultural heritage. We have been twerking our ass,
Come on,
running around
bro,
these motherfucking streets
we
with no motherfucking shirts
that's two
on
different
forever.
things. That's two different things. That's two different things, bro. We on
Because
two
we
different levels.
because we don't need to.
Some African
No
vibe.
matter how we feel about it, Megan is getting the bag. She's getting the bag. No matter
she getting the
how we
bag.
feel about it.
Yeah,
she
getting the bag. But you saying
and
she can get all the bags she wants, but my daughter ain't gonna be like her.
Are the main ones that streaming the videos.
Okay, watch this.
A lot of these same men that are so vocal about it.
Megan, watch this, Megan.
Yeah, she'll get fucked, but she ain't gonna get wiped up.
Right.
Yeah, I'll take her motherfucking money.
Let's be real.
Y'all both probably be watching the video.
Mac on
you at the way, bro.
Mac on yeah, I fuck about I wasn't married.
First of all, I'm gonna be honest with you, and anybody that know me.
Oh, we know, bro.
To me, Megan look like she's
I hit that motherfucker.
So I'm not a fan of Megan. So
Megan look like what, Joe?
Megan look like she's sweating, stink a lot. I'm not a fan.
I heard her. My boy told me her pussy stank.
No way.
He from Houston. I will say his name.
Like, cut it out.
Hold on, let me call him.
Megan, I'm not a fan.
They say
cut it out.
Put him on speaker, Brian. Put him on speaker.
I would. Hold on, let me call him.
I'm not a fan of Megan.
Brian.
I'm not a fan of Megan.
I am. But not her on speaker. I don't know her.
But what I was telling
my
daughter was the difference is I said, baby, when Megan Thee Stallion walk in the door, every man looks at Megan and say, damn, But when Michelle comes in the door, her aura demands respect. She ain't gotta say shit. Niggas gonna be fixing their clothes, putting on suits. I gotta interview Megan, or I gotta interview Michelle, or I gotta put on a suit. I gotta have a tie on. My hair gotta be cut right. I gotta be well spoken. The niggas fixing themselves. Megan walk in the room, shit. They got a hoodie on, some blue jeans. Hey, what's up, girl? Hey, want to do an interview with me? There's a difference in an aura, and her aura demands respect. She ain't, Michelle ain't got to say shit.
That's down, Joe.
So let me ask you. I gotta play devil's advocate right quick. Let me ask you this. So let's talk about Beyonce, because we know she done went out there in some skimpy outfits as well, and then dropped it like it was hot or whatever. So what's the difference between and Beyonce? I feel like Venus. She's classy, bro. I feel like
what about Venus? What about Serena?
Yeah, she got a classiness too. Yeah, Beyonce got a classiness too.
So the only difference between Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion for me is the thickness. Megan Thee Stallion is way thicker. She got a bigger butt, and so it's just like a white girl. And me, Megan and I, we've talked about this a couple of times. A white girl can come up here with a skirt that comes up right to her ass cheek, and won't nobody say a word.
Won't nobody say a word.
Won't nobody say a word. You let Megan put on a skirt like that. She might get fired if she walk in her job with that skirt on. They sending her home. I promise you, they are.
They did it to Serena.
So exactly. So it's kind of like the same thing. The only difference is, like I said, Megan Thee Stallion she's thicker. She it
ain't about that. It's about how you carry yourself too. She don't carry herself like Beyonce. She carry herself like a hoe, like a bitch in the strip club that don't deserve to get respect. That's what I'm talking about. You can compare what they wear. It's all about how you
deduce all of that by how she dressed.
No.
That sounds how she carry herself.
Okay, you are right, Brian. You are right, Brian. Everybody does have the right to judge just based on how they carry themselves. But if by that concept, then cops have done nothing wrong.
Right, exactly.
Okay, exactly. I say the same thing. I say the same thing. All this, everybody judge.
That's entertainment.
Okay, so let me say this. Beyonce says she has an alter ego, right? She said she gets on stage, she do her thing, she make her money. When you see Beyonce out in public, Beyonce classed in a bitch. She ain't got she ain't got nothing showing, revealing. She got on a motherfucking peak coat.
Bro,
she in public when she's on stage, Joe. She in public when she in her. She in public when she's on stage.
Off work. When she's off work.
She's never off work. Dwayne. She ain't never off work. Right. This bitch stay glamorizing herself. I love me.
Eat with her kids. How about this? When she eat with her kids. When she eat with
her
kids.
Nobody see her.
When she do family stuff. When she go to Target. Yeah, when she go to Target.
She did throw on a little sweater jacket like the teacher mom. She did do that.
This was tripping me out because I don't see Megan Thee Stallion. I don't see Megan Thee Stallion walking into a Target.
So y'all Houston natives, y'all are biased. Y'all are
with some high heels.
Y'all are biased. That's why.
But doesn't it? But also, don't that show a strength though? I mean, because Beyonce came out in her documentary stating that she was very, very uncomfortable and very, very worried about being perfect, very worried about her appearance and the way other people saw her. It wasn't until that she really got with Jay-Z, and he just kind of was just like, you don't have to be perfect. Like, you're already great. Your craft is perfect. Just express yourself. And it wasn't until then that she started wearing clad stuff. Until she got her man, she started wearing clad stuff, and she started being more scintillating and stuff, and basically pussy all out. So I mean, I'm like, there's two sides to look at that. I mean, I can see weakness, but I see strength too.
I'm gonna say this, and then we can move on. I'm gonna say this. I was thinking about this today, and I actually wrote it down. I have it right here in my thing here. I wasn't even gonna mention it, but I think in today's time, I think men are pressured into accepting things that we would normally accept. And let me explain. So let me go down the list. Slut shaming. If a woman sleeps around with a whole lot of men and she sells herself, her image, men have to accept that, or they're going to be accused of slut shaming. If a woman, fat shaming. If a woman's overeating and she's 300, 400 pounds, and a man says, I'm not attracted to a fat woman, he's fat shaming, right? I saw an article today that I read that the LGBTQAI plus community says that if a trans woman, if a man trans over to a woman, and a heterosexual man does not want to date her, he's transphobic. Right? Mm-hmm. So all of these things are
they call women biphobic too. They call them women biphobic too.
So that's called transphobic shaming. If I'm a heterosexual man, I like women, and a man then went from a man to a woman, and I said, I'm not dating you. That's called I'm transphobic at that point, right? I'm fat shaming if I don't want a fat girl. I'm slut shaming if I say I don't like a girl walking around with her titties and her ass out. So if you, basically what's happening is you can't win from fucking losing. It's damn if you did, damn if you don't. So
now you know how black women feel.
No.
Right.
But
that's the and black men for that matter. Black men stop giving a fuck. Black men are the reason we wear dreads at work, my nigga. Like y'all, like women kind of pushed it too, because women really can't pull it off better than dudes. Dudes rocking around with like the crusty, someone please call 911, drinking that won't work for nobody. But it is the very doing the opposite of what society has told us. Like, it's just like at some point, like, are we integrating to be more like, white America, or are we trying to be ourselves right now? Like, can no one see the strength in being in like not having all of your clothes on? Like these in my head, I just see it like, women have been raped, taken advantage of, kidnapped, beaten, abused, and forced to work through it all like for years. And I just like, it gets to the point where it's just like, why are we?
But I also see what like Brian I'm saying as well. Like I said, I just want to play devil's advocate for a second. And like they said, when you see a woman that's wearing some of those skimpy outfits or whatever, when you look at her, you don't look at her and say, man, I want to marry her.
Right.
When you look at her, you say, man, I want to fuck.
Yeah,
because it's almost like that's what she's leading with. But but once again, that's her profession, that's her job. So that's but I'm saying like just some regular woman. If a regular woman walking down the street and she have on this 2-piece outfit with some high heels on, you ain't gonna be looking at that woman thinking that you gonna make her your wife. You don't want her for a wife. You just want the goods that she's displaying. It's like a display board. We see when you ladies see a Coach purse on the sign, I want that purse.
Depending on the mind frame of the man, because the woman can walk down the street fully clothed and you'll still think that's what you want to do.
No, because it depends on how she look and how she's shaped and stuff like that. And of course, you're gonna be attracted to her physical appearance and stuff. And of course, men are sexual beings, most of us. So yeah, that is gonna be a thought process. But we'll be more likely to date this woman versus just taking her off the street and fucking her and putting her back in the street.
Right, and on that own show. Y'all need to go watch it.
That's more about you.
On their own show, when they have an audience full of black women, I mean, no men in there. And these women are in there saying, I wish I knew what I knew now when I was 20. I wanted a family and I wanted a husband. Now I'm in my 50s. And now I'm looking back, I've had all the fun. I've traveled the world with my girls. I've done all this stuff. Then she said, when I go home, I hear echoes in my home because I have no man. I have no children running up to me saying, hey, mama, how are you? How was your trip? Now I'm 50 plus years old and I'm by myself. That's what the orange bucket effect is, where you can go for years and years and get you some Home Depot bucks and put it around your waist. You will get buckets of dick and you're going to brag about it. I can get any dick I want. But when you're 50 fucking years old and you're walking in the house and you hear echoes and the rats fucking in your walls, then you'll come to the realization, fuck, damn, I should have presented myself better. I should have carried myself better. I should have had a family back then. Because these women, go watch it. I'm gonna send y'all the link. Go watch it. These women, a whole audience full of them in there crying, getting Kleenex.
But those are a whole audience for the women that they searched for, Joe.
Come on, man. These were women of all walks of life.
I can see that. I can see that.
You can't sit there and say they from all walks of life. They choose the specific age of women and whatever they were going through and put them all together and put them on TV.
Yeah.
That's what you do when you research.
Right, those women in the audience were probably
it's a
from
certain demographic.
20 to probably 60. 20 to probably 60. I think, maybe the little 60, because some gray haired women in there, old women, middle aged women, young girls, 18, 19, 20 years old, maybe. So she had a plethora of different women, and they had different agreements. They even started talking about natural hair, which I'm not even going to go there right now. But they even started talking about the natural hair versus the weave and how much companies are making our black women and why black women should embrace their natural skin. So you had the 18-year-olds on one side, the older women on one side, they were clashing about who are being natural and why natural beauty is so important. But that's another show. So the last subject for tonight, because I know this one's going to get real juicy and good right here. Let me go ahead and put this right here because I know I sent it out today on the link. But I got to put it here. Here we go. Is aborting all black male babies the solution to black women's problems? Ooh, y'all probably wondering, why the fuck would he ask that dumbass question? All right, so let me show you why. So if anybody ever heard Cynthia Q. Cynthia Q is very, very popular on YouTube. She's a YouTube sensation, right? And so on the show, Cynthia Q was on the phone with another lady, a professional lady. I forgot what she said her position was or what she does, but she's a 6-figure nigga. So, and they were having a conversation, and she said the only way, matter of fact, I'll let y'all hear from the horse's mouth. Brian, I really want you to hear this shit. And then when we get done, I will talk about when we get done. Well, just listen to this shit. Right. Listen to this shit. I can't wait. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Come on. Here you go. I can't fucking wait. Listen to this bitch. Okay, here we go.
Response to something that at the time that I said it wasn't 100% serious, but now that I've given thought to it, I really think this is something that Black women need to consider. I think it needs to be considered. I think it needs to be examined because the reality of it is Black men are not interested in changing by and large. They've gotten worse. And they're continuing to get worse because they feel like they have every option in the world and Black women are just not something that they care about. But then once somebody says that their womb is closed off to Black male children, then all of a sudden it's a problem. And I think that's really actually comical, especially coming from Black men, because I've been on YouTube about 5 years now, and the entire time that I've been on YouTube, I've heard Black men promoting abortions by talking about, oh, Black women are the ones who are choosing to give birth to these children. They've created a culture to where they're the only male group on the face of the planet that lowers the value of women based on them having children. These men, we know for the past, going on 3 years, they've been criticizing me for even thinking I've had a child. So this is the irony and the comicalness of it is based on their own narratives. And they don't think that their actions and their narratives are going to eventually come back. to haunt them. Because if you've been telling Black women they have lower value for having children, you've been promoting abortions by saying Black women are at fault because they're the ones who are giving birth to these derelict males and raising them. They're the ones who are telling you that you are a problem because you're choosing to give birth to children that they're impregnating you with. They refuse to wear condoms. They refuse to have any sexual agency. They refuse to take care of their kids. They refuse to get married. They don't care about kids at all. Yet when it comes to Black women saying, okay, well, we just don't want to give birth to Black male children, it's a problem, despite the fact that who are the most problematic ones in the community?
Yeah, I mean, they literally promote everything that they complain about. Black men actually promote swirling for Black women. Mm-hmm. They promote divestment for Black women. They promote single motherhood for Black women. They promote Black women being strong and independent. Like, this is the dumbest collective group of imbeciles that is on the planet, because they literally.
Do you hear this? Basically, Black men ain't shit. The world would be better without Black men, right? Period. Why do we keep giving birth to these imbeciles? And the Black womb should be cut off from the Black man. This is the kind of shit.
Can I say something? Can I put something in context?
Go ahead, B.
That lady name is Cynthia G.
Right.
She got impregnated by a dude named this is his name on YouTube, the nigga with the tattoo. That's his name. He's a dusty male. So she got impregnated by him. So what you seeing now is a bitter Black woman. She used to then be like that. She used to be for Black men. Now, Cynthia G is a feminist. What you hearing is feminist. I don't know not one, and I'm gonna get off this subject, but I don't know not one Black woman ever said that. That's a segment of women, bro. I got sense enough. And you gotta look at it like this too, Dwayne.
That ain't the majority.
That ain't the majority, bro. That's a segment of women that talk like that. She's a feminist, so you can't. I'm sorry, but that's a bad video for us to look at.
And don't even label her. That's not the majority of feminists either.
Yeah, she like a Kevin Samuels, bro. She's the Kevin Samuels for bitter women. Kevin Samuels is for bitter men. I'm serious. I call it all the way. That's how Cynthia G is. Listen, anybody that's listening to this woman, all Black women are not like that. That's just a segment of Black feminist women. And her in particular, she used to then be like that. She was for the Black man until she got impregnated by a dusty Black man. And that's what you see her now. This don't have nothing to do with Black women. I can't even a hoe don't even talk like that. Megan don't talk like that. Cardi B don't talk like that. And these are hoes. Hoes don't talk like that. That woman is a different type of bitch right there. And I'm gonna use the B word on her. She's a different type of bitch. So I can't flow on that. I'm gonna let y'all do that. And Dwayne, take it from there. I just want to say that all Black women not like that. I can't even fathom my mind to think a Black woman.
Right. And
majority of Black women think that.
Right. And all women are not like that. And I agree with you completely. All Black women are not like that. However, the reason that this video is important because of her statistics later on in the video, which the video is too long. We'll watch all that video. But the statistics in her video, I had to look at it for myself because I couldn't fucking believe it. So they had an all women's march in Washington for feminists, right? Those feminists,
all women march. Feminists.
Yeah. 60. This is the stick. This is the stat that we're talking about right here. I had to look it up myself. Everybody else can go look it up right now too. 61% of women, and in all cultures, Black, white, Asian, all grouped together, 61% of them are feminist and feel like the man is not needed for families, for growing men, for molding daughters. The same mindset that you see Cynthia G with, 61% of other feminist women feel that fucking same way. Men
okay, wait a minute. Can I ask?
Feminist women. Feminist women, not all women.
Right, 61%. That's a large fucking number. That's like
61%.
61% of the feminist women, not our women. It's 61% of the feminist women, the women who call themselves feminists.
And I don't
women.
believe that 61% of feminist women, true feminists, women who are feminists, not because they're angry, not because they're bitter, not because they're target, but that they do believe in equal rights, treatment, and the equality of women and men. Because let's keep it real, that's what feminism is only about. That's the only thing to defame feminism. Those hoes who do that are defaming feminism. They defaming that. There are certain women that are that are trying to like clout chase on top of feminism, and there have been women that have tried to do that so many times. But when it comes down to it, a feminist is an idealism, just like motherfucking communism, just like socialism, just like conservatism, and it has a strict idealism. Is that men and women are equal and they should get equal pay and should have equal rights and should get equal opportunities. That is it.
But that's not what it's being used for right now, though.
I know, but that's
not right.
But that's the thing. That's the problem. Like people keep trying to throw stuff on top of stuff, just like he added on. Feminists also believe that men that black would be better without men and this, that, and other. But true feminists don't believe that. They just truly believe they believe actually in. They believe in having that whole family unit. They just think everybody should be equal.
Lance, the feminists, feminism killed the family. It killed the fucking
way. It depends on how you define feminism. I consider
no, you're exactly right. No, he's right. No, but wait a minute, mother, he's right though. Feminism did destroy the family.
Yeah.
You know, but you know what? How good was the family before?
It's to the degree. It's to the degree of what you're considering feminism. I consider myself a feminist, and of course, I have a husband. I got kids. I got all of that. But it's because I believe in the advancement. I support the advancement of women, equal rights, and all that good stuff. That's the only part of feminist that I'm down with. So that's a broad
I get mad at people. Look, I get mad at people who say somebody's trans. Just like when you brought up I think that's bullshit that somebody can call somebody else transphobic just because you don't want some fucking trans person in your face. If anything, you're prejudiced, but you're not afraid of them because phobia literally means fear. That's what it translates to. If you look up all the other actual phobias before the media just started randomly attaching fucking words to the word phobia to try to make it fit into the dialogue that they're trying to feed you, the poison that they're trying to feed you, phobia means fear. Anything before that, the prefix of the word it's that and fear. And that's what it is. That's all it is. Now, I don't think you're a racist means hate. I don't think you're a racist just because you grew up around a bunch of black people who happen to act this way. So you think that all black people act that way. That's not racism. That's ignorant. But you're not being hateful towards me. Okay. Racism is hateful. And I think words are powerful. I think it's important that people put shit in their proper perspective so we won't have no fucking confusing conversation about what feminists do. Because feminists that I know don't fucking act like that. And they would never degrade a man because they believe in equal opportunity and also equal treatment.
And guess what, Lance? I believe
Dwayne,
in cancer awareness.
I got a question, Dwayne.
Go ahead, B.
No, I want to ask you something. I think some of the people on the panel might not understand what we because I know where you're going with it, Dwayne, with the feminists.
Yeah.
And how they did things. I'm next time, maybe one day this week, we're gonna figure out how can we explain the difference what we talking about. Cause I think they looking at the word and the definition of it, but they not looking at the main figureheads that started the feminist movement. See, feminist movement just wasn't started because of white women. Because of black women or whatever. No, it was white women wanted white power. They wanted white supremacy. They was mad because black men voted before them. That's why feminism started, because black men voted before white women.
And guess
that's
what?
one of the reasons why.
You know something that's special? Fannie Lou Hamer. I know a lot of y'all probably know who Fannie Lou Hamer is. Fannie Lou Hamer, she was one of the women that was against feminism. And let me tell you why.
Yep.
She says, I've never, go back and watch her.
Fact.
She said on video, I've never seen a bunch of white women that want so much power that they will use black women to get it.
Mm-hmm.
She said the black women were out in the street with the pickets and the signs while the white women were looking through corporate windows clapping, saying the niggas are going to get us what we want.
Facts. And hey, was she around Margaret Sanger also?
Oh, come on! Don't stop talking about Margaret.
Yeah, she was because she was around Margaret Sanger and them also. That she said that about Margaret Sanger, and guess who? And what did Margaret Sanger start?
Planned
They killed
Parenthood.
what?
And
They
Margaret
killed
Sanger,
the nigger babies.
Yeah, and Margaret Sanger said every time a black woman comes in for an abortion, we're going to take everything out of her that creates a baby. So we're going to give her, we're going to gut her. And so when she goes to have another baby, she won't even know it. Now, a lot of black women that went to her didn't even know that she had sterilized them. They thought they went in for an abortion and came out completely sterilized. They have families at 30 years old and 35 years old and 32 years old and can't have kids and wondering why you have been sterilized by Planned Parenthood. That's why I was about to say I want to support breast cancer awareness. But Susan G. Komen gives a lot of their percentage of their money to Planned Parenthood. So I can say I support cancer, but then what also am I supporting by supporting that? I'm supporting Susan G. Komen, but she's supporting Planned Parenthood with a company with a history of sterilizing black women to keep them from having families. They started this movement.
That's exactly why I don't believe that the black family setup should be the way that it's been. Obviously, we weren't as strong as we thought we were. So I mean, what went left there? Because I mean, at some point, something went wrong. So because we went from suppression, and then as soon as we got like a sense of freedom, or at least a freedom of expression, then all of a sudden, like everything that we're doing is wrong.
Man, that's a whole other show, bro.
Yep.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It gets deeper than that. Like at some point, you have to start realizing that the stuff that we're doing is an actual reflection of the stuff that we've gained. You know, this feminism is a reflection of the black people, the black women that went out there and got talked about just so they could have a chance to not get talked about, only to get.
No, man, it didn't go like that, man. Educate yourself on this stuff, man.
God. Hey, B, let me do this right quick.
Don't do it, brother.
It amazes me how black people took so much abuse just to sit down and eat with white folks.
Just to sit down and eat anywhere without getting killed. Don't minimize it. Don't minimize it. Please don't minimize the black. Please don't minimize the civil rights movement. We've been trying to not be killed officially since 1950. Okay, so don't desensitize the civil rights. It wasn't just to sit with white people. It was so white people could stop pretending like they were better than
Let me put it into perspective. I go into an all-white restaurant. I want to be accepted as a black person. I go into an all-white restaurant with all-white servers, all-white cashiers, all-white cooks, and I go sit down and I order food, and I want to be able to sit in this restaurant and eat. There's a white man back there that don't like niggas that probably put half a gallon of fucking spit on my burger, in my food, right? I want a spit in my coffee, right? I come in, I saw the video. There's no way I would have shot, burned. I would have fucked the whole place up. There's no way as a black man I could sit at a counter and let motherfuckers pour coffee on me and give me third-degree burns and stab me and beat me and punch me in my face, all because I'm in an all-white restaurant. Get your fucking own restaurant. Get fucking Lance's.
You're right. That was so possible.
Those opportunities were not there. It's so easy
that was the
to say
reason people were sitting down.
Those opportunities were not there. They were charging us triple. Those opportunities were not there. It was not the same. It's easy for us to say that now because we have all these privileges. Back in the day, it was not like this. It was not as easy as saying, "Oh, go make your own business." It was
She's not saying it's impossible, but to say that they weren't dominating the fucking, they weren't dominating capitalism. Like we had to break in that bitch. When they sat down, they didn't
alone or nothing like that back in the day.
And guess what? You had Big Mama back there today, but I will talk. That's a whole nother show. What I want to say is this:
Can I say something on that, Dwayne?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I say something on that? Listen, this is the thing. I don't know. I don't, and maybe I don't know, man. Maybe I seen something different. I'm from Mississippi, one of the poorest states in the United States, maybe next to Alabama or whatever,
Louisiana.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, Louisiana. Yeah, we some po. Well, I ain't gonna say we po, but I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I remember I used to ask my grandmother about the civil rights movement. Even she said she can't stand. My grandmother never liked Martin Luther King. She said he was a bitch ass nigga, basically, in so many words. And as a kid, I never understood why she kept saying that. But she always said that when we integrated with them white folks, business went down. A lot of black business was lost. We lost a lot of land because we was moving, because we wanted to move to these white neighborhoods. A lot of black businesses lost money because a lot of black people want to shop with white folks. That integration fucked us up because we are no longer connected to nothing. Only thing my grandmother and the rest of the old niggas said back in the day was all we wanted was protection from getting killed. We never wanted to shop with white folks. He said, even when we had to go downtown when there was a white and black water fountain, we just didn't drink the shit. We got water in our community. You know, like everybody, I don't know, and maybe, I don't know, maybe my grandparents on the side of what they was doing, it was just a little different from most people. But most old folks from state to state I've been to, they had their own camaraderie. We don't even have camaraderie no more. And I think integration was the worst thing ever. Besides
that's what a village went.
Right.
Which I would really love to talk about one episode. Like, is segregation like the answer? Because I really would like to fully explore that.
Yep. Redbird and Bluebird don't hang together.
Yeah, and you know what? Think about this. All this shit that's coming out right now about Aunt Jemima, right? Oh, they robbed her family, and they went to court, and the judge says, "Shit, we ain't give y'all nothing. We don't give a damn if you made $1 billion off their cornmeal. Damn, y'all bad." Now it's come out the KFC recipe was stolen from a black lady,
all
right?
that stuff. Mm-hmm.
Everything's
folks
stolen.
getting spit on
Jack
just
Daniels.
to eat at white
Jack
restaurants. What type? I never respected that shit. Folks getting spit on just want to eat at a white restaurant. That's not respectful. That ain't respect.
It's not about it. Of course, it was disrespectful, and they did that. That was the first benefit of media exposure that black people had.
To get spit on?
Yeah, they had to show us. Yes, they had to show us. There were people living in areas completely segregated from us that didn't even know that at any random moment we would walk out the door and get killed. For what reason? Nobody knew.
They should have shown when we was killing them. Why they don't talk about us killing them? They always show us in a vulnerable position by white folks. You don't never hear about the rebellions we had in the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s, and the 60s.
I think we missed
how we
the point of why
they don't talk about that. They only
that's what they say against critical race theory.
Subservient
because they wanted to be with white people. They wanted equality. The schools and shit, the black schools were messed up, were effed up. The restaurants, everything that we were getting was second and third class. They was out here paying. It was still another form of slavery. They was out here paying black women $2 to clean their whole house and to be their nannies and stuff. So that's what they was fighting for. It wasn't that they were dying to be integrated with the white people. They was paying for stuff to be equal.
It was.
Yes, we had
they want to be with schools, the white folks. They want to eat with the white folks.
The black schools were fucked up. They had barely no books.
What black schools was fucked up?
It was so much of the dissension. Back in the day when schools were segregated, everything for black people was messed up. And so that's what they were fighting. They were fighting for equality, for the stuff to be
equality equal. As in funding so they can get their schools
They were
funded.
selling in grocery stores.
Changed up.
And this is fact. Look at it. In black grocery stores, it would be I'm like you, and produce. Ryan, really stop. You said so much ignorant stuff, so don't say unlike you. Stop.
I mean, there were multiple.
You said a lot of ignorant stuff.
Was just because black people wanted to co-mingle with white people. Seriously?
Now I will say this.
I did.
I'm gonna be like Tony and play devil's advocate real quick. So a lot of time when it first started, y'all, when the first civil rights movement first started, it started out by black people wanting the ability to have the same funding from the government to start our own colleges.
Thank you. Equality.
They wanted equality. No. Keep going, Dwayne.
The same funding.
Yeah, right. If they had Harvard, If they had Harvard for the white folks, we wanted Booker T University for the black folks. If they had
there you go.
If they had fucking 5-star restaurants, we wanted the motherfucking 5-star restaurants that said
Facts.
Tony and Megan's ribs and cookies. If they had a fucking school bus taking their kids to school every day, we wanted a fucking school bus, decent school bus taking us to school every day. We wanted the same shit, but we wanted our own shit. But guess what?
Keep going, why you saying facts? You said,
but guess what?
Because he's telling the truth.
Mingle with black people. That's what you said, Brian. I mean, with white people.
We wanted to eat at white restaurants. We wanted to fuck white women and white men.
So which one
we wanted to stay in white neighborhoods. Some of them people wanted to integrate with that. It's a reason why Ruby Bridges was the only black. Was one of the. It was supposed to be two of, but she was the only black girl at that all white school. Why is that? Why a bunch of black folks didn't send their kids?
Or was it because they wanted to be co-mingling with white people?
You know what? That was fucked up what they did to Ruby Bridges, though, y'all. Y'all know
that's what I'm saying.
Right? They fucked.
They sent their child to an listen. Just think it.
8-year-old girl. They sent that little 8-year-old baby into a school with 300 white folks that wanted to kill her.
So pretty much like going to town back in those days.
Absolutely, but think about an 8-year-old baby though, Lance. I could go into a school and say, "Hey, the first white boy come up to me, I'm gonna fuck everything up in this bitch." But imagine I look at my little girl and look at her and say, "Damn, that could be Ruby Bridges." Do you imagine how I would feel at my house by my couch, knowing that my daughter in a school and people are hitting my daughter across the head and throwing water in her face and spitting on her? She's the only black person there. There's nobody else in that school that looks like her.
You know how I feel knowing that there are people that made that sacrifice so I can get up to this podium today and tell people how I feel.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean it was all what did we have then? Here's the thing. You can't knock the frame, the point of view of how people think back in the day and then still advocate for people to still think that way so they can fit into a box that's more pleasurable to you. Like, what do you want women to do? Do you want them to be like that? Or do you want them to be like somebody else? Because I mean, you can't go back and forth. You can't diminish civil rights. I want to comment on what you said. You are correct. That did the whole civil rights movement did start as advocating for funding for education. They did that because they would have to qualify black people as a private and protected people, which would jumpstart the civil rights process. But it was always about equality. That was the get in for it. Because they would actually have to ask for money to be, and also ask to be qualified as a protected person. And then when they fought against it, then it became bigger than that. And I'm so glad it did. I don't know about y'all. Yeah, getting spit on, fucking worst thing in the world. Ate up by dogs, shot by hoses, but they did it. And can't nobody say nothing on them because look at us. We're all here, unshackled, unfucking tethered, and who's to say that Malcolm X way would have been better? I guarantee you, probably would have been some more dead people on the fucking cross than what we had. Right. But I mean, that was a moment where we all came together. Everybody, there's always gonna be a special interest involved. There is not one fucking idea, goal, or plan in this America since the moment the first white foot landed on that goddamn rock that has not been self-interest involved. And that's gonna be every day, which is why I don't believe in the government. Even God told me not to believe it.
And I think it's easy for us to criticize and say, oh, they coulda, shoulda, woulda done this. But like Lance said, the reason that we even able to be on this goddamn platform and able to be successful black people, 6 successful black people the way that we are now is off of those people's backs. So it's easy to criticize and say, oh, they should have did it this way, or they should have, could have, would have did it this way. None of us were there. None of us were dealing with that. None of us are old enough to even know half of the stuff that them people were going through at that time. Right, so it's easy to say shoulda, coulda, woulda. The reason that we're even on this show and can do what we're doing right now is off the backs of those people.
And you know what, Megan? I agree with you 1,000%. Let me tell you why. we're off the backs of those people. And I think that being off the backs of those people, I think that that's very important for teachers in schools from K to 12 to teach critical race theory. Because like Brian said a few minutes ago, there were rebellions where black people got together and started fucking all the white folks up, killing every one of them. But they don't. That's not in the history books because they don't want you to know that you had an inkling of power. They don't want you
now
to
with that. And all we talking about getting spit on, that's all they show. We just getting spit on and dog. Nah, man, they ain't talking about the deacons and none of that stuff. They were bucking at the police and killing them folks.
Even
yeah,
that,
man, come on.
Even
I'm with the warrior class. I ain't with that weak shit. Like I don't come from that weak shit.
Even with Nat Turner, if y'all seen Birth of a Nation, Nat Turner figured out all the white people houses, figured out where they stayed, killed their children, killed the husband, killed the wife.
He only killed one person in real life. He wasn't no killer. It was his partner that was the killer. He wasn't no killer. He barely wanted to kill one person.
So that's my thing. I think that we should as a people should have a balance, of knowing what we were. Because I used to get mad at my mama. My mama, I'm gonna say this, then we're gonna close out with final thoughts. My mama used to have this play at the church, and it used to piss me off. Even when I was 14, 15, it used to piss me the fuck off. Because my mama would always start the play off with a black man or a black woman walking down the aisle singing on Negro spirituals with somebody behind them with a whip picking cotton. I said, Mama, we were kings and fucking queens. You're not gonna put a fucking king and queen up here with a crown on? You're gonna put a fucking you're gonna have people walking down the aisle picking cotton and somebody whooping them with a fucking thing and everybody in the church. That's that fucking toxic fucking shit I'm talking about. They were actually smiling at this shit. Girl, they sung that hymn, girl. You remember, don't you? That shit ain't funny. My grandmother is 89. She told me, she said, working the turn row. My grandfather died when he was way older than my grandmother. He died, she's damn near 90 years old. My granddaddy said, I remember seeing people get shot. I remember seeing people get hung up in the trees, going down the turn rows and picking up the cotton. He said it was horrible. Women getting raped, white men having sex with the women in front of their little baby girls, 8, 9, 10 years old, the men tied up to watch. So yes, you are right. I think they had us mentally enslaved back then because Willie Lynch said there's no gates at a plantation because you have the wall in their mind. And so I think that over until today, you're right. We can go to restaurants, we can go sit down, we can do all that right now. But all of those racist ass people, they're in judge robes, they're in police uniforms, they're in doctor uniforms. I even looked at the statistics of black women that die under the care of white doctors after they have babies. It's fucking that's a whole nother show. How these
women, that's a whole nother show.
Look at the percentage of black women that
integration started this shit
under the care of white doctors that don't give a fuck about them. After they have babies, they're bleeding to death. They're being left to die. So the doctors, the fucking lawyers, the judges, they had a judge in New Jersey that's in jail right now. They caught him by mistake, but he's in jail right now. And he told the lawyer, every nigga you bring to me, and we put him in this private prison that I just invested in, we'll give you $2,000 a head. This motherfucker was putting 30, 40 black men in jail a month.
Black kids. It was black kids.
Years old,
it was juvenile.
$2,000 a fucking month.
Juvenile.
He was doing 30 a month. Do the fucking math.
But yet, all of our energy is focused on the very same people who sacrificed us perhaps to find this information, and we have not once on this fucking platform talk about what we're going to do about the institutionalized fucking prison reform system or anything like that. Right, I mean, I need you to understand, like black people weren't the destruction of black people. And I firmly believe this. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not even friends with a lot of black people like that, but I believe in our race. I've seen us survive. I've seen us crawl up and crawl out. I've seen some of us, even on different paths and avenues, still become greater and better. I see kings. I see queens, even the ones that are getting spit on. And like, I'm sorry. Like, I sat there and I watched that shit when I was a kid, and it had an impact on me. And there's no way that you can fucking tell me that we could have got the same thing done by raging war. Like, it wasn't going to happen. We weren't going to get the same thing done by raging fucking war. It took us this long for new generation white people to even realize that they were still prejudiced by their great grandparents. Right. They didn't even know. We had to keep
How you think
them
we got
in.
the Civil Rights Bill passed, bro?
I mean,
You think we got the
some
Civil
shit.
Rights Bill passed off being nice? We got the Civil Rights Bill passed off violence. It wasn't passed because of Martin Luther King's death. It was off violence.
It was a
Read
whole
about the
effort.
summers, man.
It was a whole effort. Everybody did their part. Even the white people did their part because it was going to be no fucking way possible that we were going to get some fucking civil rights shit passed just on this skin color alone. There was no fucking way possible. There were lots of people that made it happen, and there were lots of people that made it happen for their own special reasons. I'm not denying that there were different things in play. I said there's nothing in and of this in the community that's not tainted. Like everybody has their own special interest.
So let me say this in closing thoughts or whatever, so we can end it, because segregation would be a deep conversation that we would have to dig into, and all these 6 perspectives would be amazing to have 6 perspectives on segregation and how we look at different institutions. And like we talked about HBCUs last week, and we talked about colleges and different things. I mean, it'd be amazing to have that show. So I'm definitely want to dedicate some time to that next week. But
hey, Marquita.
But I do want to say that thank you guys again for coming on the platform. You guys bring an amazing. We have a crazy person. We have a crazy gay person. We have a crazy ass player over here that fucking multiple women. We got a wife. We got a husband. We got a.
Why Brian can't be crazy? Hold on.
Didn't say crazy.
Can I pick my own fucking title next show?
Okay.
Hey, this is me.
We got.
I take my medicine. I'm not crazy.
We got a therapist. We got everything. And so I just want to appreciate you guys, because a lot of people are Lance. You are a fan favorite. Everybody talking about how much they love Lance because he's Lance. But then you got a lot of people that say they love Mother because you can't, you're not gonna get a word in on Mother if she disagree with your ass. So you might want to keep that to the pound.
I'm gonna get the word out. I don't care.
I'm gonna get it back on your ass.
I slaughtered y'all. I slaughtered you and husband. Y'all had a 3-way with y'all tonight. I had a 3-way with you and your husband tonight. I slaughtered both of y'all. And I threw Lance in the mix. Y'all had a 4-way. I done dominated all of y'all.
I would love it.
You got something you want to say about that?
That's so nasty.
Tony got something you want to say?
Goddamn fool with it.
Bro, I'm just enjoying life.
Right, you start in your own head. Long as you believe in your head.
So anyway, guys,
I got a big head too, man. My mama said that.
With closing thoughts, I already put the motto out there on Facebook and everywhere else I share our platform is that, a family that ain't scared to have a conversation. And so we're not always going to agree, but we always going to have our standpoints. And the reason I appreciate you 5 is because you stand on what you believe, 10 toes down. Once you believe something, can't nobody tell you shit. So you'll listen, but you stand on what you believe, and we look at and so we're able to do that. So in closing, I would like to say that the Black culture has a long way to go. We have a long way to go. We have a culture of people with different mindsets, and we have a lot of lost people. We have a lot of lost men, women, children. We have a lost people, and so I think that we need to find a journey that will put us all on the same path to get to where we need to be. And in Brian's words, you can't save everybody. Some of these niggas gotta perish. So anyway,
I'm just ready to talk about how we're going to destroy white people. I just feel like that's going to be the topic one day. How can the Black community destroy the white community? I just want to go ahead.
We got to take out the Black folks first. We got to kill the ones that's left behind first.
Oh,
we got to start.
Hey, don't be like, hey guys, but for real though, I appreciate you guys, man. And next week, man, we're gonna come back in. Hey, Marquita over here killing herself, man. Dr. Higgins laughing her butt off. But,
and it's all love. Everybody got a different perspective. It's all love, Brian. Ain't no, but it ain't personal. Yeah. I just want to be like the whole time. I want to know what your perspective was on it. I respect everybody's perspective and different views. It's all love. We might cuss each other out or tell each other off, but it's all love, though. We family.
Yep.
I talk shit, swallow spit every day. I love you and Tony and Lance and this CB. But guess what? I'm an ignorant son of a bitch, though. And I'm going to fuck these hoes tonight, and I'm going to get some motherfucking money. Hey, y'all be safe. I love y'all.
That was an ass on the internet. And why he freeze frame right there? Like,
hey, I'm going to say So Brian did his goodbye. So Lance, go ahead and do yours and sign out. Go ahead, Brian. Lance, you next.
Look at this. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Bye, y'all.
Whatever you want to do. Just do what you want to do. All right, go ahead, Tony. Please. All right, Tony out. Mother, your turn.
Peace. And Brian could have kept it.
Yeah, man, Brian is crazy, boy. Steve, what you got?
I'm just going to say bye. Sorry that I wasn't able to be in on this conversation. Wish I could have been, but I was here, so.
All right, well, we love you, Steve.
Right,
we love you, Steve.
Right.
Hey, Mother, I got a question for you before you get on.
So I got to stay on now.
So we did a reaction Friday, me and C. Did you watch it?
Okay. No, I didn't get to see it yet. I had so much work to catch up. Yeah, I'm just getting back into stuff.
So we did reaction Friday. So I was saying every Friday we'll have one person from the cast come and do a reaction with me. So you want to do it this Friday?
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, because our son's football game's gonna be on Thursday this week. I'm down.
Okay, yeah. So everybody y'all here. So last week it was C. This week it's gonna be Megan. Megan have a this week. You gotta watch the one me and Sierra did. Woo! Sierra was hot.
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. Yeah, I'm just catching up on everything. We just got back yesterday.
Yeah, and I'll send you the link. But yeah, C was hot. C was hot.
Woo! Yay! Oh, don't forget, it's gonna be Mother's Cooking with Mother and her kids on Sunday, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, what time? Tell everybody what time, Megan.
It's at 1 o'clock. Cooking with Mother and her kids. I'm gonna add the link. I'm gonna have my brother Dwayne to share it. This week we doing shrimp Creole. Okra and dewey sausage, shrimp, tomatoes, it's all gonna be in there.
And I wanted to apologize to you for not doing the first two because I was in Facebook jail. I had posted something about Colin Powell.
About right.
Yeah, I said Colin Powell was fully jabbed and he still died of COVID, and so they kicked me off of Facebook.
Colin Powell died.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, where have I been?
Yeah. COVID-19.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
And he was fully vaccinated.
Well, he had a lot of comorbidities, Dwayne. He had cancer. So, yeah. He had a lot of comorbidities.
But yeah, so I love you guys. Megan, y'all see me and Megan on Friday at the same time, 8:30. We're going to go through a video like I did with C. Y'all need to go watch that video right now. Go watch it right now. You'll see me and C talking about, what was the latest name, C, you remember?
I don't even remember her name.
Oh, yeah,
she's irrelevant to me.
Her name was Crimson. And you know what, Megan? The first line that came out of her mouth is that women are going to always be, what'd she say?
Mediocre.
Black women will always be mediocre.
What?
Yep. So you got to go watch it.
And she's black herself.
And she black herself.
Self-hate.
Yep. But I love you guys. And peace.
Peace out. Bye, y'all.